drop.
Look
He
at that
is
throw.
complete. That's Xavier Fuller. Touchdown, Marion Giants.
He's gone.
Thomas, and he is across midfield. One man to beat, and he's beat him down to the 20s, 10s, and he is.
Welcome to Marion High School and Dick Luton Stadium, where tonight WIWU brings you the Grant County High School football game of the week. It's the McCutcheon Mavericks and the Marion Giants, along with my partner Ron Vermillion. I'm Roger Alcock, and tonight a really big regular season finale for these teams. Ron, when you look at the Marion Giants, you don't talk about this team and their success this year without talking about their defense. That has been what has really made this team successful this year.
And we're going to talk about the bookends on the defensive line, and that is number 8, Dre Aguilar, and number 17, Brendan Martin. Those two young men have put pressure on quarterbacks the entire season. They have handled the outside game, shutting it down. These two young men have really been the best example of how to play defense in the North Central Conference.
Well, and they're going to have to play maybe their best defense of the year tonight against the McCutcheon team that comes in here tonight to Dick Luton Stadium. They've won 5 consecutive football games. They're led by a really outstanding quarterback. He can do a lot of good things. He spreads the ball around. They're going to have to really play their best tonight.
And you're talking about number 2, Peyton Williams. Williams has had a great year. He's over 1,000 yards passing. He also is the second leading rusher on the team. So how McCutcheon goes is how they go.
You know, tonight we expect a really tightly contested ball game. The Giants, if they're going to win tonight, they're going to have to maybe clean up some things that have been bugging them all season long, turnovers and penalties.
Penalties, the last 3 games, they've averaged 17 penalties per game. They've got to stop them.
All right, well, don't go away. When we come back, we'll kick this one off. Toe meets leather here on WIWU TV.
Join me this season on Good Hoosier Cooking as we create some of Indiana's best recipes. We're covering traditions like the haystack dinner, sharing some of my favorite fall dishes, beef roast and beef stew, and making several recipes that my mother has made over the years, sloppy joes and potato salad. I'm sure you'll find something new to try. We hope that you join us here each week on WIWU TV 51.
On the bench, that one is tipped and it picked off, intercepted. Way at the 30, the 20, down the sideline, touchdown. And welcome back to Dick Luton Stadium here at Marion High School. WIWU TV's coverage of the high school football game of the week. Again, it's the McCutcheon Mavericks. 5-3 overall, 5-1 in the conference against the Giants. The home team 6-2, 4-2 here in the North Central Conference. Well, we're going to check in with the third man of our crew tonight. Down on the field is Dr. Greg Feebig.
It's a great night for football out here tonight. Pretty excited to see this game get underway. I know Marion is concerned a little bit about the quarterback for McCutcheon. They feel like if they can get a handle on him early, it'll make the difference in the game. They do feel like they can score on the McCutcheon defense, so that isn't the biggest concern. The biggest concern is the Marion defense putting up a good stand against the McCutcheon Mavericks. Ron, Roger, back to you in the booth.
Well, you know, Ron, when you talk about this McCutcheon team, they're 5-3, but I mean, when you look at it a little bit closer, they're 5-0 in their last 5 ball games. They're undefeated, and over that stretch, they've outscored opponents by margin of 29-6. So they gave up some big scores early.
Yeah, what?
But McCutcheon's defense has really stepped up. They're scoring on the offensive side of the football. And this is a really big test for the Giants tonight. Yeah, I think it's going to have to take their best effort of the season to beat McCutcheon tonight.
And it has to be mistake-free too, Roger, because when you're talking about last week having around 20 penalties and just barely winning that game, however, by 15 points, but just barely because they got 2 touchdowns inside the last half of the fourth quarter. And that 7-6 lead that they have most of the game looked like it was going to stand up because of all of those penalties. But the big thing right now is, and I think the reason we showcased the 2 bookends for the Giant defense in Williams and Andre and Aguilar and Martin, are the fact those 2 guys are going to have to put a lot of pressure on Williams, who has thrown for over 1,000 yards. That is major. And not only does he throw for it, but he scrambles well, and he is second on the team in running. They run an option-type defense, and he will either give it to Bennett or he'll keep it himself. And so he's a big part. If they can shut down Williams, I think then that's going to give our Marion offense a chance to win this game.
We're talking about stopping Williams and how well the defense for the Giants has played, but there's a big test for them tonight in Williams. As you said, he's passed for over 1,000 yards. He's accounted for 12 touchdowns. But here's the thing. He really spreads the ball around.
He does.
You look at stats, there's probably about 6 different receivers that he'll go to at any one time. So, I mean, he's a very talented quarterback who will make a defense really play straight up and you're going to have to play well across the board.
Yeah, it was those other inside backers for the Giants are going to have to actually bottle up the running game that they're going to see from Bennett, and then the bookends on the ends are going to have to keep him in contain and keep the running game in contain to have success in this ball game. And I think certainly we also need to show that Peyton Williams for McCutcheon throws at a 55% rate. 55%, and he's thrown for over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. This young man is the real deal.
You know, McCutcheon is playing for something tonight. They're 5-1 in the conference. They have some outside, a slim chance at a share of the North Central Conference title. Now, obviously, Lafayette Jeff is undefeated in conference play, and they're at Muncie. Muncie's struggling this year, but, stranger things have happened if Muncie would pull off maybe the upset of the year and McCutcheon can win tonight. They'd get a share of that conference championship. So there is something they're playing for, but the Giants are also playing for a little bit of history themselves. It's not been since 2006 since they've had a 7-win or 7+ win season.
And I remember that very well. That was a very good team for us. And the last really good Mark Surface team before he retired. But, Marion's got a lot to play for here, too, and I tell you why. It's because if they would knock off McCutcheon and some other things would happen, they could finish in a tie for second. Now, they're probably going to finish third, but they could finish with McCutcheon in a tie for second should some other things happen. So a lot for both teams to play for, 2 very good teams, 2 very explosive teams. So this could be a real track meet, and the track is fast down there on the field as we saw in pregame.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night for football. The sun is just setting out here to our west, and so we're getting ready for the captains to meet here at center field. I mean, it could probably not be a better night for high school football here. It's not hot down there at all, but it's not cold. It's just perfect weather. Probably about 60 degrees now, 65 degrees, and it'll get a little bit cooler as the night goes on, but not a cloud in the sky. And it's the ideal kind of conditions for offenses to display what they could do.
But when I was defensive coordinator, we called the Giant, we said this was a hitter's night because this is when you get the sweat going and get real loose and bring it. And, and the Giants have some very good hitters. And that's what I was talking about pregame to a couple of the parents. Maybe some of the best overall tackling that we've seen in years.
Well, Marion has won the toss. They will defer to the second half. So Coach Greg Chambers wants to get his defense on the field first, and that's no big surprise there, I wouldn't imagine.
No, and it's he's going to have to stop this team. So let's just see if that can happen in this first series. I think we need to see if Christian Lemons can get the ball down there on the kickoff and get a tackle so that they're inside the 30 and then make them go the field if they're going to beat you.
You know, Ron, we talked a little bit about the problems with penalties that have hurt Marion. They've had some games where fumbles and turnovers have hurt them. But this team has been very, very resilient. They have not given up. They've been in every game, even the games you're like, how are they even in this game, had chances to win. So I don't care what happens in the first quarter here. I think this is a team that's going to fight for four quarters.
They will, and they have, and this team has overcome adversity. When you, the last 3 games, you're averaging 17 penalties in those last 3 games, and you still win 2 of them. And by the way, the other loss was to the #1 team in the conference.
Yeah.
Why? And they didn't quit on that either. So I think the thing that we need to look at is can they play this error-free as much as possible and not make the mistakes, both mentally and physical mistakes that they have in the past.
Well, Jeffries and McGee back to return the kick. Here is Jeffries at the 5. And a good coverage unit that time for the Giants, making the tackle inside the 20-yard line. So Anthony Reynolds, I believe it was, flying down there to make the tackle. But that's a good start for these Giants to keep McCutcheon in somewhat tough field position.
And that's what we talked about. Can you keep them inside the 30 and make them go the field on you? And they did. And a great play by Anthony Reynolds, who also happens to be one of the outside backers on this very good defensive team for the Marion Giants.
Well, we'll get a good look here early at Peyton Williams, #2, the quarterback for McCutcheon. He's 5'10", 170-pound junior. He set up in this spread look with 2 wide receivers to the left, and out here wide to the right is Keldon Tyson. Williams rolls to his left, fires to the sideline, incomplete, so it will be second down.
Good break on the ball by Washington that time for the Giants. They came out and they looked like they were going to run that jet sweep to the right. Instead, he bootlegs it back out to the left and pulls up. Good defensive play by Washington right there at the 30-yard line.
Offensively for the Giants, their quarterback, #2, Justin Johnson, he does a great job at QB, but he's kind of out on an island here defensively at that corner position. He has a lot of responsibility over there.
He sure does. And, if I don't know what they're going to do as far as pass cover, because they do both man-to-man and zone. It's kind of tough against the zone, but yet if you don't stay with their best players, and reminder that number 12, Thomas, number 17, Phoebus, and number 14, McGee for them are their key receivers, even though they do have 5 receivers with over 100 yards.
Big third down play. Williams rolling. Has his man across the 30. Looks to be about at the 31-yard line where he's knocked out of bounds. That was a pretty good throw on the run, and it gives the first down to the Mavericks.
About a 15-yard throw, and he runs down and does the quick out, and that ball was right on the money. I mean, that was a bullet, and we saw the very first from this young man, Peyton Williams, for McCutcheon.
Well, certainly McCutcheon will throw the football probably more than any team that we've covered so far this season here on WIWU TV. 10:48 to go here in the first quarter, just underway. First possession for the McCutcheon Mavericks. Now here's an inside handoff, and that interior of the Giants defense holds stout and keeps that to just a 2-yard gain.
And that was to Austin Bennett.
Yep.
And Austin Bennett, number 21 for them, is their leading rusher with 89, make it now 90 rushes for 400 and, let's update that, 71 yards. So they're not a big rushing team. The second man is Williams in that with just 202 yards.
2nd down and 8. H-back goes in motion, excuse me. Now, before the snap, there's a flag across on the other side of the field, and it's going to be a procedure penalty called against McCutcheon, so that will move them back 5 yards.
Had movement over there on the left side as they went to an H-back and have him slide down the line in preparation for the big block. That's kind of the pro look that, you know, that colleges copied, and now the high schools, especially when you've got good backs and guys that can go from that wing back position.
Well, it'll be 2nd down and 13 now after the penalty, and the Mavericks will split 2 wide receivers out to the left and to the right. Looking to the left, and it pass is caught out across the 35 out to the 38-yard line, so near the 1st down, but about 2 yards shy.
Well, it looks like the Giants are in that zone defense, and the man turned just under Washington, number 13 for the Giants, who got the shove out, and they are just a little bit short, about 3rd and 2.
You know, sometimes here early, the Mavericks will go huddle. Sometimes they go no huddle a little bit. This 3rd down play, they huddled up, but makes it difficult for that defense. Here's the inside handoff, and nowhere going that time for Bennett. In fact, he might have lost a half a yard. We'll wait for the spot, but it's going to set up a 4th down, and McCutcheon is going to have to kick this one away.
And I see Brandon Martin, and I see and Andre Aguilar, the 2 bookends for Giants, as they close down in and help the 2 tackles for the Giants get that stop.
Back to kick this one away. Let's see, is that Burke back for the Giants to return? Boy, that was near a blocked kick here. Burke's going to pick it up off the bounce. Boy, he's hemmed in and is going to be taken down at the 17-yard line. That
was about a 40-yard punt that went 20 yards after it hit.
8:53 here left in the 1st. And so the Giants will take over the football and begin their first possession at the, let's see where they're going to mark it, about the 17-yard line.
We saw a very good offensive unit in McCutcheon get stopped, but not so much by the Giants as they did by that one penalty they had. And we've talked about it all the year that we've been, the 6 games that we've done. Mistakes and penalties at the high school level are probably the biggest defense you have.
Here's Justin Johnson taking the snap, and he's going to run option. Boy, that who was that on the outside there that took the carry or the pitch? That's J.K. Thomas. Didn't look like J.K. for a second, but we had
and that
one
was
of the things in our sight here. But, boy, he looked like he was going to go down for about a 5-yard loss and somehow got it back to the line of scrimmage.
He went what we call east and west, when you go parallel to the line of scrimmage, and that's not the way you want to go. You want to get north and south, which means you're getting yardage. But the defensive end and the outside backer for McCutcheon really strung that play out.
Well, in fact, it was a loss of 5 yards. They hadn't switched it on the scoreboard. Here's the inside handoff to Thomas, who just gets a couple yards back. So it'll be 3rd and long here for the Giants.
That play was dead from the start because the Giants' offensive line, who we've praised quite a bit this season when we've seen them, this is the 3rd time we've seen them play, have been very good blockers, but they missed the one tackle, or the blocker at the block at the point of attack, and so it was a tackle for no gain.
Johnson under pressure as he lets that one go. He had to get rid of it a little bit quickly, and it goes out of bounds, incomplete, and around the 30-yard line. But that time the pressure was coming out on the edge from McCutcheon, and the Giants are going to have to go put it away after a 3-and-out.
And that came from Foster and Stevens, their 2 backers, number 40 and 44, and those 2 are the leading tacklers for them. Foster has 107 tackles for the season.
He's standing almost at the goal line. There's a short kick, a fair catch called for at the 47-yard line, taken there by Caden Rice. And so The Giants go 3 and out. They kick it away. And McCutcheon will have it for the second time here in the first quarter. Great field position.
Marion lost 20 yards of field position from where the punt was from McCutcheon to them, and then the punt return back to them was a 20-yard plus for McCutcheon.
First and 10 for the Mavericks. Here's Peyton Williams back in that shotgun. And gives it to the tailback Bennett. Again, not much running room. And of course, Andre Aguilar in on the tackle that time.
Brendan Martin along with him. We talked about those bookends, how if the Giants are going to be successful, they're going to have to stop. And that time, both of them closed in, got the tackle, and almost at the line of scrimmage.
And, you know, we saw a ton of seniors on the field here tonight for senior night, but you look at those two guys, Aguilar only a junior, Brendan Martin only a sophomore, so they got a couple more years with those guys. Great way to at least establish a great defense next year.
It absolutely is, and you can build on those. Joey Hutchison that time, one of the Giant down 4 jumps on the hard count from Peyton Williams for McCutcheon.
And you saw him come out, I believe, right after that.
Yeah.
You know, coaches are trying to find ways to cut some of these penalties back.
And we talked about Giants have been over 15 penalties each of the last 3, and I believe they got close to 20 down there at Tech. So Coach talked to us yesterday in production meeting. We're trying to eliminate those mistakes.
Here's Bennett. Hit at the line of scrimmage, gets about a gain of 1 yard, but a really nice stand on that side, the left side of the Marion Giant defense. And so it's going to be third down and about 3 to go here. Anthony Reynolds in on the tackle.
Anthony Reynolds has started. He is a junior this year. He started since he came from McCullough. As a freshman, he started sophomore, junior. He's an outside backer who first 2 years played inside backer, and people are talking about how much quicker he is. I talked to his dad. No, he's not so much quicker as he is. He's gotten to the outside, and this is really where he likes to play.
Well, on 3rd and 3, McCutcheon has had probably a little more success when Peyton Williams has thrown the ball. We'll see if he does here. He does. Looking deep down that left sideline, and it is knocked away.
Great coverage.
Excellent coverage that time. And I think it was Washington, Aries Washington on the coverage that time for Marion.
And that time they were in man. And, you know, there is a difference on how you play the guy as opposed with man as opposed to zone. Zone, you wait for him to come into your area. Man, you pick him up and run stride for stride. And this time we're going to see him right there, stride for stride to the inside position, gets the knockdown, and a good defensive play by Washington.
Well, with it 4th down and 3 to go, but at the Marion Giant 38-yard line, they're going to go for it. Here's the pitch left side. Bennett turns it up. He'll have the first down as he gets it inside the 35. He didn't get a huge gain there, picked up about 4 or 5 yards, but it was enough for the first down.
Martin did what he was supposed to for the Giants as the defensive end. He took the quarterback, and as soon as he took the quarterback, Williams pitched it out to Bennett, who turned it up and got the first down.
That's a really good call there. A little bit of a new look there on that 3rd down play, 4th down play.
We said that this is an option team when they run the ball.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Looks like he's checking off.
Bennett to the right side, turns it up. That time he gets it to the second level inside the 30 and taken down at the 27-yard line. Biggest run of the night that time for the Mavericks. Gain of 8 yards makes it 2nd and 2.
Looked like Metzger and Reynolds in on the tackle as they went to the right. The Giants have been very strong stopping that outside run as we look at 2nd and 3 for McCutcheon.
Man in motion, gets the hand up. Oh, he's going to be hit in the backfield and down for a big loss.
Well, I sure hope we see that because it was Dre Aguilar coming up quick. Dre said, don't fool me with that jet sweep. No, I'm sorry. It was actually a free safety blitz with number 9. Burke. Yeah, it's hard to see. Here he comes on. Well, we didn't see it, but there he is. It's kind of hard to tell between the 8 and the 9 out there, but I saw him coming. They just had a blitz on, and they blitzed right into the play.
Well, now it's going to be 3rd and long, 3rd and 9.
See the pressure that maybe those bookends can put on.
Looking deep down their right sideline, and it is caught. Oh, what a catch inside the 10 and out of bounds at the 8-yard line. But that was really a great throw by Williams, and then a catch there by number 85, Keldon Tyson. He had to put that ball on the button, and he did.
His 10th catch of the year, and he's now gone over 200 yards, but that ball was put on the money. This Peyton Williams for them, he is not very big. Now, he's only like 155 pounds, but he can really throw the ball.
Wow, what a big conversion there on 3rd down. And so now it's 1st and goal. Option to the left, Bennett gets a gain of about a half a yard, and so it'll be 2nd and, we'll call it 2nd and goal from the 8.
Looked like Martin may be in on the tackle on that. It was just a quick little pitch out, and again, it's off of the option series where they're going out wide. Martin did a nice job turning the play in, but then he turned around and caught the man from behind.
Get a good look at that interior of the Giants defense. You know, number 70, Zach Randolph, the senior, he's had himself a pretty nice senior season.
His dad obviously is the pro, but Zach's come up and he's played some good football for the Giants the last 2 years.
Excuse me, a missed tackle out here, and it's a touchdown for the Mavericks, and an 8-yard strike from Peyton Williams to number 21, his tailback, Austin Bennett, and the Mavericks get on the scoreboard first.
The Giants didn't have anybody to cover that back out. You know, they run that spread that you talked about, and so if you're in man-to-man, that takes 4 guys automatically covered, and you have to cover the back out with that inside backer, and he just didn't get there.
Extra point is on its way. The kick is up, and it is good that time from Jay Soto, and so it makes it a 7-0 ball game in favor of the Mavericks.
Soto is perfect on the season at 15 for 15. And again, they do run a lot of 2-point conversions, but when he's kicked the ball, he's been perfect.
Well, the Mavericks go 47 yards on 9 plays, but of course the big play was that 3rd down conversion, the big pass there. That was Williams to Tyson.
We talked to that you can't give them a short field. And the Giants, off of the specialty teams, off of the punt, gave them a short field right there at the Giant 47. You need to put them down inside the 30 every time they get the ball and make them go 70 yards or more to earn a touchdown instead of giving them that short field.
You know, and there's 3:30 on the clock. That drive, it was only 47 yards, but it took, 4.5 minutes off the clock.
Because when he threw the ball, he completed passes, and they didn't stop the clock very much. This is a big play team in McCutcheon. The Giants have played pretty good defense, but when you give up a 3rd down and 9 conversion, that's going to hurt you every time.
Burke and J.K. Thomas back to return this kick. The high bounce, and there's Burke out to 15. He's in trouble, and he's going to be wrapped up and taken down at the 14-yard line. But when that ball, it wasn't a squib kick, but it was kind of a low-line drive, and that bounce takes just another couple second or two, and that allows the coverage team to get down the field.
And as we always said as coaches, you can't dance with the ball once you get it. And he did, Burke did a little bit, and that allowed the tacklers who already had
There you see the tail end of that touchdown where, Bennett, nice runner, but you can see he can do something after the catch as well.
He did, and that's those yak yards you talk about. He got hit at about the 8-yard line and took the ball all the way in, even though the Giants had a chance to take him down at the 8.
Well, Johnson has 3 receivers split wide to his right, and they have a little bit of a trouble getting lined up. Now they're set. Here's Pogue in motion. Pitch to Thomas. Oh, he's in big trouble. Back inside to 5, and he's going to be hauled down at the 2-yard line. Oh, that did not go as planned.
That brought the one extra guy from the left side to the right side when he went into motion. And all that did was bring the entire team. If the Giants would have come back with a counter on that, that would have been great. But they were overloaded, outmanned, and a big tackle for loss down there at the 3-yard line.
Well, a loss of
2-yard
10 yards on that play, and it makes it 2nd down and 20. And so it's only the 2nd possession, but right now, early, the Giants offensively having a tough time advancing the football.
Those 2 linebackers we talked about are very good for McCutcheon.
Well, Thomas got the handoff there, but that was a near disaster as on that exchange, it looked like Johnson almost fumbled it away.
Well, you're on the 2-yard line. It's hard to run against this team. They're running a 4-front, a 4-4 defense, and the passing, he hasn't had really much time to throw, so something's going to happen. Either the Giants with the offensive line are going to have to move their splits down, or they're going to have to do something to give Juice Johnson a little bit longer to throw.
Well, 3rd and 19. Johnson's just going to tuck it in and run. Gets it out across the 10, out to the 15-yard line, so he gives the Giants some breathing room, but it will set up a 4th and 9, and they're going to have to kick it away.
That was they just rushed 3 men, brought a linebacker. The Giants had 5 men to get 4 guys blocked, and they did. Juice saw that there was nobody there. He took off. Nice scramble as he picks up some 12 yards.
McGee back once again. Here's the punt. Boy, again, a short kick, but takes a Marion bounce and goes out of bounds at the 49-yard line of McCutcheon's. But the Mavericks will start this drive with 1:05 to go here in the first quarter. It's a pretty good field position.
Giants needed a big punt the last 2 times. He's punting from back there deep in his own territory. Twice he's done that. This time he got it about 5 yards farther than the first time. But Christian Lemons averages about 35 yards, and that's exactly what that was, a 35-yard punt.
All right, here we go. It's 1st and 10 for the Mavericks at their own 49-yard line. We've seen the Mavericks very well mix the run and throw, but that time Williams is eaten up and taken down by Andre Aguilar at the 40-yard line. A loss of they're going to mark it at the 41, so a loss of 8 yards in that play.
They've got Andre.
Oh, my goodness. Now they're going to spot it out at the 44. I guess
that's probably where he got hit. But
yeah.
Aguilar was one of our featured players before the game. Said he would have to have a big game, a nice sack as they plan to either throw the ball or will be called a tackle for the loss. We couldn't decide, but Dre Aguilar was there for the tackle for loss.
Here's the handoff to Bennett. Not much there. He gains about a yard as he gets it out to the 45-yard line. Zach Randolph in on that tackle.
Brendan Martin in there with him too. But Zach certainly has had a nice season. Again, it was kind of a, you're known for basketball because that's what your dad did, but Zach in his own right has done a nice job on this defensive line.
Well, that is indeed the end of the first quarter of play. So we'll take a break. We'll be back with the second quarter of action here on WIWU TV.
We don't just go to the Bible to read it. We go there so that it can read us. We go there so that we can allow the text to change us.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Crossroads. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Katie Key.
It's Kappa.
Here we go.
Here we
If
go.
he tries, it actually works. Now I can maybe actually get some points. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Katie Key. The Crossroads of Life brings people together, and that's what we try to do here each week.
Thanks for watching, everyone. So long.
Back here with the second quarter of action. It's 3rd down and 14 for McCutcheon at their 45-yard line. Williams rolling out to his right, throws on the run. It was nearly caught but knocked away. Juice Johnson making the defensive play there, and so now McCutcheon is looking at a 4th and long.
They had a Marion had that loaded on their left, the offensive right, which is the way that Williams rolled out, and they actually had 6 men covering 4 men. So the Giants were at an advantage. If he'd have thrown out here to the lone receiver on the left side, might have been something else.
Well, had that been caught and had it been a 1st down, it was going to come back anyways because McCutcheon was flagged for a hold. The Giants will decline that penalty because it is indeed 4th and 14.
This is the best defensive series that the Giants have had. Started off with that tackle for loss by Dre Aguilar, and the Giants then just held them the next 2 plays.
First 3 and out for the Mavericks. This will be their 2nd punt. Again, some pressure, and I wonder if that ball was tipped because it only went about 20 yards. Now it takes a McCutcheon bounce inside the 25 down at the 24-yard line, but that ball had a kind of a weird look and spin coming out of there.
Aguilar made it through the kicker's toe and got back there. I don't know if he got a piece of it, but and certain Brendan Martin, the other defensive end, was back there too.
Well, the Giants will begin with the ball at the 24-yard line. Believe it or not, that's their best starting field position of the ball game so far. The first possession was at the 17. The second possession began at the 13. So at least when you're out over the 20, you feel like you have a little bit of breathing room and not quite so much pressure.
The McCutcheon has gone with the 3-man down lineman.
Oh, there's
and the loss.
Boy, Thomas was going to whistle down, but that was close.
That was very close.
But a gain of 1, you can see the Giants here early, Ron, they're like keeping the ball on the ground. They know or feel that they have to establish the run game.
They're going off tackle, and to me, if they're going to have success, they need to go between the guard and the center because they have just 3 down linemen, and then it's 5 yards to the linebackers, which means they could get a little bit of yardage instead of trying to go off tackle where there's going to be 3 guys to tackle.
Pogue comes in motion on 2nd down. Johnson's going to keep it. Got away from 1 tackler, but now he's going to be knocked down for a loss of 5 back to the 20.
And
you know, we take a look at this punt, and
we're going to see if indeed Dre Aguilar gets to it. He's taking his time. Oh, he might have gotten it.
It's hard to tell there.
He might have gotten a little piece of it.
Well, a big 3rd down here now for the Giants. 3rd and 14. Giants would love to pick up a 1st down or 2 to change the field. Johnson is going to have to run on the
got him
sideline. He's got his man. 1st down, Isaiah Hamilton out near midfield. We'll see where they spot the ball. It's inside McCutcheon territory. at the 49-yard line, but Johnson gave himself some extra time, and the receiver, Hamilton, broke free.
The snap was actually rolled back to him. That's what caused everything to go haywire. Juice Johnson, who's been a leader the entire season for him, manages to scramble, and that's when he's at his best. Scrambles and gets the ball down here to Isaiah Hamilton at the 50.
That third down conversion is the first down from scrimmage. You know, there's been a number of snaps here early on, though, that have been low snaps and really trouble for Johnson to handle. He's been able to handle them, but we've not seen that, or not used to that.
No, we're not, and that kills. Here is that scramble, and he just puts it up there. Hamilton, all he have to have is 1 foot in, and that's exactly what he had on that great catch.
Well, after a loss of 2 on that first down play, it's 2nd down and 12. Mavericks show blitz. Hamilton under pressure, but he gets rid of it. Thomas to the left side, but nowhere to go. Boy, and the referee just got nailed there on the sideline. As the tackle went out of bounds, he's up and looks none the worse for the wear, but
that could have been really disastrous because Stevens, number 44, was blitzing from his outside backer, and he hit Johnson just as Johnson releases the ball. Could have really been disastrous if he'd have hit him about a half second earlier, because then it would have become a fumble and the ball would have been free. Right here you see, he is decked with Stevens on top of it.
That was, I don't know if that was a forward pass or if that would have been a lateral. That would have been kind of interesting to see.
That's what I'm saying. That would have been a loose ball.
3rd and 19. Johnson under trouble, under pressure, on the run. Makes a great move. Gets it back to the original line of scrimmage at the 49, but it's 10 yards short of the first down.
Juice Johnson, who is actually leads this team in rushing. You know, that's the quarterback. He's the thrower and he's the rusher. That time used his great athletic ability to make 2 cuts to get up to the original line of scrimmage there at the 49-yard line.
Well, Christian Lemon's in once again to kick this one away for the Giants. 9 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the first half. The 3rd punt on 3 possessions here for the Marion Giants. Lemon's waiting for the snap. Here it is under pressure, and it's blocked. It was blocked. The ball is loose at the 41-yard line, and the Mavericks will take over in great field position.
That was number 40 for them, Foster, who is their leading tackler with 107 tackles coming in. He went right up the middle, was missed by the kicker's foot, and you know, Christian Lemons really didn't have much of a chance. You got to get that ball off quick when the team brings guys, and you know, you got to block your men. You got to count, and that's all those guys are accounted for by the way that you're doing. And you can see right there from the outside, nobody picked him up.
Looked like Lemons knew the pressure was coming, but like you said, you can't get it away any faster. And so at the Marion 41-yard line, McCutcheon has great field position. Firing across the middle was a diving catch at the 25-yard line. No, now it's going to be called incomplete, but I thought that was a catch initially.
Big time effort nonetheless.
Yeah, that was Bennett coming out of the backfield again. The intended receiver.
Their skilled people are very skilled. You know, he dove about 5 yards in the air to try to catch that, and it did look like at the time from our vantage point that maybe he actually got it before it hit the ground.
Well, it is indeed 2nd down and 10, though, for McCutcheon, where they've had great field position so far tonight. The keeper, Williams, Brock, gets it to the 40, broke 1 tackle. And we're going to see, really wasn't an entire yard there. They're going to mark it about a half yard shy of the 40-yard line. So it's 3rd down. We'll call it 3rd and 9, though.
Montreal Pogue from his inside left linebacker spot went through and then chased him down the line. Again, we've got 2 quarterbacks that tried to run the ball.
It is 3rd and 9. Big play here for the Marion defense. Williams stepping up. He's down Martin with the sack, and he says, give me a little bit more. I'm still hungry.
And you know what? They threw a flag. I don't know if they got a face mask or exactly. It's either going to be a face mask against the Giants or a holding against them.
It's a hold against McCutcheon, so the Giants will decline that penalty, and McCutcheon will have to kick it away. Let's check in down on the sideline once again with Greg Feedback.
There's a little bit of growing frustration on the Giants sidelines between players and also coaches to players. Missed tackles on defense, missed assignments on offense, missed blocks. It's a lot of fundamentals breaking down for them. Roger, back to you.
Well, the Giants defense did indeed come up with a big stop there, forced their second consecutive punt. Here is the high punt. Oh, now it hit somebody. I'm not sure who it was. The ball is loose, and McCutcheon's going to come away with it inside the 10-yard line of the Marion Giants, and I'm not sure who that was down there.
I believe it was Washington, Aries Washington. He was blocking a man, and it was not a great punt, and it hit him in the back of the foot. Another turnover. It's a turnover, but I kind of thought the blocked punt was a turnover too. So, the Giants just making mistakes, and those are the things that I'm glad Greg brought up. The fact that there is some frustrations because in the ninth game they're still making mistakes and still making penalties.
Well, great field possession here for the Mavericks. Now under center, the handoff, a different look there, and a penalty flag comes in late. It's going to be another hold on McCutcheon.
And that's, that takes them from a very good, here we see Washington as the ball hits him right in the foot.
Now someone needs to help Washington out there, and I don't know what the call is. It's different for other teams.
It's a Peter call that you, when you hear that, you just know that you got to get out of that vicinity of the guy that's calling it, and it wasn't called. And I don't know if that's because Thomas back there is a sophomore and doesn't know that, but again, it was a turnover because of miscommunication. Well,
there's a little bit of an issue over here on the sideline because it should be 1st and goal for the Mavericks. They moved this, not just a yard marker. That's good. Now they're just moving them out of the way. Okay, so there is no down and distance marker. It's just there's a down marker, but not the distance.
And there's
now another penalty.
Procedure penalty on number 68 for them, and as Zach Copeland moves, it's a procedure penalty. And, they're doing the same thing the Giants are doing. They're making mistakes. That's 2 straight mistakes, a holding penalty. And on the play prior to them getting the ball, there was a holding play. So they could have that second touchdown, but they've made mistakes too.
This was a 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Now the ball is all the way back at the 24. 7 minutes, 19 to go here in the second quarter. Williams has time, goes across the middle, and it's bobbled, then caught, then taken into the end zone by number 14, Bryson McGee, and it's a touchdown for McCutcheon.
McGee ran a slant route. The Giants, one of the things I know that his defensive position coach, you got to play inside position down there in the red zone. You cannot let that slant go because that's an easy pass for that quarterback.
Well, it's 13-0 for McCutcheon. Extra point to come. In for that extra point is number 12, Jay Soto. The snap is down. The kick is up. It is good. And so it's 14-0 for the Mavericks as they take advantage of the turnover. And there you see the 24-yard strike from Williams to McGee.
Quick slant pass as he goes in, and they give him inside position. You can't give inside position on that slant pass and expect to stop it.
Well, of course, that was set up by that muffed punt. It gave, after really a great defensive stand by the Giants.
Yeah.
And, Ron, there's a 7 minutes and 9 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Giants need to settle down, regroup, and see if they can't get something going on the offensive end where they can get something positive going there, maybe get some points on the board.
You know, you had senior night tonight. This is where the seniors have got to pull the rest of the team together and say, look, we're 6-2. We got a chance here to go 7-2 for the season, but we're not going to do it as long as we're yelling at each other and making mistakes. We have got to focus and we have got to play as a team, and that's something that they're not doing right now. And as Greg pointed out, the coaches are being very frustrated by this kind of effort by the Giants.
Well, in to kick it away for McCutcheon is Foster. Boy, he just nailed that one into the end zone. Walter Foster is listed as a linebacker senior, but he just booted that one into the end zone.
He's the man that is the leading tackler for the defense. He's the man that gets about half of the tackles for them. And also, by the way, he's a good kickoff guy, can put that ball deep. And the Giants are right at the 20-yard line coming out.
Well, they'll have plenty of time to work with here. 7 minutes and 9 seconds to go. But I'm trying to think what has worked well for the Giants. To me, it's been when Juice has kind of been on the run.
That's exactly it.
Either making something happen with his feet or letting receivers get open. Here he is on the quarterback draw. Makes a nice move out across the 35 near the first down marker, out to the 28-yard line. So a good pickup on first down.
I think that actually was an option for him, either pass or throw, because when he got the ball, he held it out in front. He was looking at the receivers. He saw the big opening because they're only rushing 3 men, and that's what they've got to take advantage of, is that 3-man rush. Take those 4 to 8 yard pickups that they can get and run a little bit of clock so that they can get back in this game.
Second down. Was going to say 2 yards to go for the first down. 4 wideouts for the Giants. Thomas, the lone setback. He's in motion. Fired across the middle as Burke breaks a tackle. Still gets it out to the 45-yard line, and that was a strike from Johnson to Burke.
Quick slant as Burke comes from the outside to the inside, and that was a 3-step, a timing route where he throws it, and Burke was right there. 17-yard pickup as the Giants get out to the 45-yard line and a first down, and now the Giants are finally moving. And a lot of that is because they're giving Juice a little bit of chance to create. And I think that's the strength of this offense, is letting the quarterback create.
I don't know if the Giants wanted to maybe set up the pass with the run early on, but I think they're finding that if they're going to be able to run it, it's going to come via the arm. Ooh. Oh, he had Burke once again, and I don't know if Burke just short-armed that or what, but it looked like a good toss from here.
There's the pass before where Burke's running the slant coming in. He does a nice job on his yak yards of getting extra yards after he catches the ball. The second one was just blown. I think it was there, and I thought he heard feet coming.
Well, it's second down and 10. Johnson once again has time this time. Boy, a lot of time. Now he's going deep down the middle of the field, and he's got Burke, who couldn't handle it. And, boy, the defender had no idea where that pass was, but somehow it goes incomplete. There is a flag back in the Marion backfield. It's going to be a hold on the Giants, so it would have came back anyways. But
you know, that in college and pros would have been called face guarding. The pass where the defender was right in Burke's, he wasn't even watching the ball. You have to watch the ball coming down in the other two. But in high school, you can do a little bit of face guarding and get away with it, and he certainly did there. And here's the pass, a big pass, a long pass, all that time. And here's the face guard, right in his face. To me, that should have been a penalty.
Well, I was waiting for the flag, to be honest with you.
Right in front of the official, though, and apparently he didn't see anything.
Well, now it's second and 25 here because that was a spot foul on the hold. And now
McCutcheon's defense is going to give a little bit. They'll give underneath the 10 and 12 yard routes, but they're not going to give it deep.
Going to the sideline, Johnson has his man. It is caught out at the 39-yard line. Isaiah Hamilton with the grab. Johnson's showing a little bit of zip on his arm here tonight.
He did, and that was Isaiah on a comeback route where he goes down, turns around, comes back to the ball, and Juice Johnson right on the money, and a pickup of about 9 yards. Give him 9 on that.
Well, a gain of 10 on the play makes it 3rd and 15. It's still long, but at least it's, you know, manageable, or you've got a chance at that. 3rd and 25, there's not many plays in the playbook. Looks like Johnson's going to run it. Breaks one tackle, dives forward near midfield. He gets it to the 48-yard line. He's going to be about 7 yards shy of the first down, though, and the Giants are going to have to kick this one away.
Have you noticed a repetitive theme in the first 4 Giant series? They get, and on 1st or 2nd down, they get tackled for loss, or they make mistakes, and 3rd down or 4th down for them is always long, with Johnson getting yardage, but not enough to get that first down.
Lemons back to punt. Gets time, gets that one away. His best punt of the night, drives the Mavericks back inside the 20. There he's hit by Martin at the 24-yard line, and that's where they will whistle that play dead. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Mavericks there at the 24.
Well, you know, it's interesting. The time before they brought the house on the punt and got the block. This time they chose to set up. The Giants made a nice coverage as Christian Lemons got that ball high and allowed time for the Giant coverage to get down there and make a nice tackle there at the 24-yard line.
Well, the Giants are down 14 with 4 minutes and 7 seconds to go here in the first half. And Ron, you know they'd love to maybe generate or create a turnover of their own and give their offense one more shot here.
They sure would, and I think as you look there, look how small that Williams is, the quarterback, in comparison to the rest of his team.
Well, they have a pretty solid offensive line. Here's Ben. Oh, he breaks through to the second level, picks up 10 yards, and he will be very close to the first down. If he doesn't have it, it'll be just short.
Gain of 9 on the play. 2nd and 1.
And that time, Bennett just busted 2 yak yards. When you get contact, you get the extra yards. A 2nd down and short, and you know this guy does do a nice job.
Yeah.
Not only does he have a great arm for a 5'9", 155-pound junior, but he also reads the defense well.
2nd and 1. Here's the handoff straight ahead. Pickup of 3 yards, and so it'll be a first down for the Mavericks.
Doing what they want, running the clock with just 3 minutes and 22 seconds left in the half. Running the clock once they get it down. If they get it down there, get it inside of 2 minutes, they'll go to their 2 minutes and try to punch the 3rd one in.
Clock running with 3:13 to go here. Mavericks with the 14-0 lead, taking their time.
We saw a shot of the sideline with big Will Whitaker, line coach down there, going after his guys. Come on, we need to perform.
McGee spread out wide to the left here. We saw him make a big play earlier. This time a keeper by Williams, and he gets another big gain on first down. Sets up a 2nd and 1. So a couple first down carries there for the Mavericks. Gives them 2nd and short situations and a lot of options when you have that.
2 inside backers went on the dive back. Bennett, which put Reynolds and Juice Johnson out there on Williams as he kept the ball and came outside.
2nd and 1. Now the ball's out at the 45-yard line. Handoff that time straight ahead, and then a flag comes in on the tackle.
First down, McCutcheon.
It was a first down picked up on the carry. We'll wait to see what the officials say here.
And they are bringing that back. It's not going to be a first down. I think it's going to be a hold.
Yeah. Well, McCutcheon has had a few penalties of their own tonight. They have, that is by my count, their 5th penalty, and 35 yards in penalty yardage. So they've hurt themselves a little bit.
Yeah, here's the play. And let's see if we can get that right inside there. You're going to see right down there at the bottom is the hold. I thought on number 67 for the Giants, Gabe Watkins.
Well, instead of a first down, it's going to be 2nd and long, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, this is where if you're the Giants, you hope they put it up in the air to stop that clock from running.
I'm waiting for McCutcheon here now that we're under 2 minutes to maybe go deep on one of these throws. Williams waiting for the snap. Under pressure, there's Brendan Martin once again with another sack for Mr. Martin, and it drives McCutcheon all the way back inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line, 1:27 to go. I'm wondering if the Giants might be thinking about using a timeout here.
You'd
on
think so.
3rd in such a long way. You know, see if they can't get the ball back with a little more time, but maybe they're saving it for when they get it offensively. If they stop them here, I would think they would use a timeout.
They are just letting the clock run, and they'll call timeout maybe with about a second left.
Here's a snap. Williams, he's going to eat it again.
Now they want to go timeout.
And now here's the timeout as it's going to be 4th and forever back at the 20-yard line.
And you think, you know, I think maybe the timeout, as you kind of thought, maybe on 3rd down would have been a timeout too, where they would have saved another 25 seconds.
Well, they will have all 3 timeouts now here, so, you know, they'll have them on the offensive end, but, well, I don't know who to give credit to on that sack there. It was just about every purple jersey on the field.
They did. I think they brought the 2 backers, and, you know, they're blocking 5, but when you send your 4 down linemen and the 2 backers, that's 6 guys on 5. Somebody's going to get open, and they sure did. Another tackle for loss. So the Giant defense is now showing up, but unfortunately it's 14-0 in favor of McCutcheon with just 52 seconds in this half.
You know, I don't really feel like the defense has played that poorly. And here's that last, that was the sack by Brandon Martin.
That was the 2nd down sack, and Brandon Martin has had 3 tackles for loss slash sacks in this first half.
You know, the Giants defense, though, they forced, this is their 4th punt, but it was the one big pass play that on 3rd down earlier that set up their first touchdown. And then, of course, the kick. There's a a high but short kick. Takes, took kind of a neutral bounce there. And you know what? I think that's going to be a penalty. I think that's going to be a penalty on the Johnsons right there, as Aries Washington just tried to push one of the McCutcheon Mavericks in the back, and
no, that's not a good thing.
Or maybe it's going to be on the Mavericks because there was a little
what
bit
I
of
saw
talking back.
was their guy swatted the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
And you can't do that.
Well, there was a little bit of chatter there between Washington and one of the Mavericks. We're just going to wait and see. And it's on the Giants. So instead of it 1st and 10 at the 45, this is going to go all the way back to the 30.
Pre-game, we talked about mistakes and penalties. And for the Giants, this has been another half of frustration, as the Giants have had several long, and this is going to be a personal foul, not just a penalty, but a first personal foul penalty that takes them back 15 yards.
Wow, what a big play right there. Well, 41.3 seconds to go. The Giants have all 3 timeouts, but they've got a lot of turf to cover here in 41 seconds.
You got just 3 rushers. Maybe those 5 guys can give him time to get to an open man.
Receivers stacked 2 apiece on either side. Johnson, well, this one's coming back because there's a hold penalty. Johnson on the throw, incomplete pass.
And they did give Johnson enough time, but this becomes another mistake, and they will take it, and this ball will go back to being a first down at the 20. and 20 yards to go for another first down. You just kind of wonder if maybe here the Giants don't take a knee because they're going to get the ball in the third quarter.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the Giants did in fact win the toss, elected to defer until the second half, so they will get the football to start the second half. And right now with the ball all the way back, what, to the
20.
Let's see. Well,
should have.
If it's a spot foul, let's see where they put it. They put it down all the way at the 11-yard line. So you just don't want to turn it over here now.
No,
and
I think you take a knee right here and go to the second half.
Well, they're going to run a play here on first and, I don't know, forever, 30, 35 yards. Johnson, handoff. No, he's going to keep it. Turned it upfield and gets it to the 15. I don't see a timeout, so that may, in fact, be the last play of the first half.
Clock is running with 15 seconds to go, and it looks like maybe the Giants are going to line up for one more.
They don't have to snap the ball, and I don't think they will.
And we go into halftime.
All right. Well, that indeed is the end of the first half of play. The Giants trail McCutcheon 14-0 here at the halftime break. And Ron, the Giants have some catch up to do here in the second half.
I think getting a focus of this team, and you know, they have addressed mistakes all year. I don't think you go out and do that because they've addressed that all week as we learned from in the production meeting. So what you have to do is go in and look at what you've done well, Roger. What have you done well? And what they've done well is let Juice Johnson take the ball and just run with it or scramble until he finds somebody or runs with it himself. Defensively, stop making mistakes, first of all. Stop making those turnovers, and then be a little more consistent with the defense, and I think they'll be fine. I think adjustments on defense can be done, and but it's the offense that needs a major overhaul at halftime.
Well, that is indeed the story of the first half. The Giants trail 14-0, but there is an entire second half to go. Be coming up here after our halftime show on WIWU TV, so don't go away. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Honor Society Secretary, Spanish Honor Society, and Social Chairperson. Mason's future plans are to go to college and major in business. Our next senior cheerleader, Sierra Walton, is escorted tonight by her mother, Jennifer Walton. Her extracurricular activities include
all right, welcome back to Dick Luton Stadium here in Marion, Indiana. Marion High School, where the Giants trail the Mavericks of McCutcheon High School out of Lafayette by a score of 14-0. And Ron, I wanted to ask you about this Giants defense, because I really don't think the defense has played all that poorly. They gave up a big play on a third down that gave Jeff, great field position to get that first touchdown.
Right.
On the second touchdown, the drive started at the 8-yard line, so I have such a short field, and McCutcheon did come up with the big play. So it's been a couple big plays, but their offense has not been able to give them much help tonight.
No, and I tell you, it's the first down. Nothing happening on first down, and even second down, where they're going backwards instead of forwards. And then the two turnovers for the Giants have been.
We take a look at some highlights here of the first half, and good defensive play that time by Washington. He came up with a couple, errors there later on the game, but a missed tackle here, and next thing you know, the McCutcheon Mavericks are in the end zone.
We talked about the fact that this young man, Peyton Williams for McCutcheon, has a laser arm on him.
Yeah.
Here's the Giants with the J.K. Thomas going outside and nothing going on that outside running game.
Not much going on the ground for Marion outside of the scrambles by Justin Johnson. And that was the after the muffed punt, that was a big third down play, actually, that they were able to convert on. The Mavericks were.
2 big third down plays. And here we see Braden Burke. Braden Burke catching the ball on the slant.
They tried to come back to it after that, and it was incomplete. But, you know, the success on the offensive end for the Giants has come when Justin Johnson has been on the move, whether that's him running or him throwing. But, you know, that's a lot of that's a lot of pressure to put on one guy to generate really all your offense. You've got to try to find something on.
Exactly, 100% of the offense. But I think the fact that on first down, either mistakes or penalties have put the Giants in a hole, so that they're coming out of 1st and 10 or 1st and 15 or 1st and 20, or in one case 1st and 25. Then they, you know, you against a very good defense that McCutcheon has, they're just rushing 3, and they're saying okay, we think we'll stop your inside game and your outside game. We've got more guys outside than you do because we've got 8 guys in level 2 and level 3. And so the Giants, if they don't somehow get between tackles and run the ball, we're going to have problems scoring in this second half.
You know. Well, we're going to take a break. Come back. We'll talk about this one a little bit more. Then we'll have our second half of action. Don't go away. Grant County High School football game of the week is on WIWU TV.
We don't just go to the Bible to read it. We go there so that it can read us. We go there so that we can allow the text to change us.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Crossroads. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Katie Key.
It's Kappa. There we go. There we
If
go.
he tries, it actually works. Now I can maybe actually get some. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Katie Key. The Crossroads of Life brings people together, and that's what we try to do here each week.
Thanks for watching, everyone. So long.
Our parks and preserves are not mere picnicking places. They're rich storehouses of memories and reveries. They're bearers of wonderful tales to those who will listen, a solace to the aged and an inspiration to the young. Wise words indeed from the father of Indiana's state parks, Richard Lieber. Come celebrate their 100th anniversary this year. Lands preserved for generations. That's honest to goodness, Indiana. Start exploring at visitindiana.com/parks.
How do we participate in loving other people to that end of glory for them that is promised in the New Testament? That if we actually can interact with human beings in a way that leads them to the fullness of their own glory, that they may one day actually be, that's actually what it is to love.
Roger Alcock along with Ron Vermillion back here at Dick Luton Stadium for the Grant County High School football game of the week. And don't be sure to join us, I should say, this Wednesday at 7 p.m. as we have some more Wildcat volleyball. Indiana Wesleyan Volleyball as they host St. Francis on Wednesday at 7 p.m. ESPN3, our coverage there, and WIWTV.com. The Lady Wildcats having a phenomenal season, and this will be a big matchup. Join me and Bianca Stafaldi, former Wildcat, adding color that night. And of course, later this week, Ron, we kick off our 12th season of Wildcat Week here on WIWU TV, where we interview coaches and student athletes from all the different sports, and a great opportunity to get the inside scoop on Indiana Wesleyan University athletics. You can catch that Thursday night, 7:30 p.m.
Starting that transition from fall sports into winter sports, which a lot of people like the winter sports.
Just don't care for winter.
Yeah, and certainly the basketball programs, both of them for Indiana Wesleyan, have been very, let's say, superb over the last 20 years. And you know, I enjoy the basketball, but I sure enjoy the football. I coached both for over 40 years, and they're different. And this is a more of a team game, where basketball you can get by with less talent, as long as that talent that you do have is very good.
Talk about talent. We're pretty excited about Wildcat basketball this winter. Of course, the men coming off a Final Four finish, and there was a lot of turnover, but I can't imagine we've had a better recruiting class than what the Wildcats have seen this year. 2 Indiana All-Stars, and Grant Smith and Kyle Mangus out of Warsaw, and then, of course, the transfer from Kansas, Evan Maxwell. And while some other guys, Sam McComb was a transfer last year that sat out last year. Jacob Johnston is back. That team is loaded, and once they get things figured out, they should be a lot of fun to watch.
You know, to me, it's going to be how can all that talent get playing time?
Yeah.
And how can we keep all that talent happy? Because, I mean, you know, you've only got 5 guys you can put out there at one time. And certainly Greg is a master at it, and he will do well again. And I just, you know, I just know that'll be another very successful you know, with Greg, it's always a successful season, not only in wins and losses, but how the guys grow, mature with their Christian walk and everything else. So it's not just an athletic thing.
Well, absolutely. It's certainly a comprehensive program where they really want to see, you know, the entire person grow. And, you know, really excited about Ethan Whaley, the new women's head coach at Indiana West. He's going to bring a new style of play, a little more up-tempo as he, you know, works to kind of build upon the tradition that's already there and get that team back to national tournament level play. And, boy, that guy, I don't know if you know Coach Whaley, but he will bring nothing but energy and enthusiasm to the game. And our own Katie Key. We're excited to watch her. She does such a great job for us here at WIWU TV in terms of being our co-host for Crossroads, but does a lot of work behind the scenes. She'll be producer for our Wildcat Week show that we do, and of course she's a standout player for the women's basketball team. So isn't that a great thing to have athletes who are great students? So let's check in though really quick with Greg Fiebig down the field with Coach Chambers.
I'm here with Coach Chambers on the sideline. Coach, could you tell us a little bit about the mood of the players in the locker room?
They know we can play a lot better. They was down on themselves early, but we still got a half of football, so I think we'll be ready to rock and roll this half.
Tell me a little bit about the adjustments you're making for the second half.
We just got to stop making so many mistakes. We had a slow start. I mean, it's time to play football, so we got a few adjustments to be made, but I think we'll be okay.
Great. Thank you very much, Coach. Back to you, Roger.
Well, no big surprise there from Coach Chambers. You know, you got to quit making mistakes. Give yourself a chance to get back in this one. But the Giants will get a chance really early here because they'll take the opening kickoff here. And
they will. And it sounded to me like he saw the same game we saw. That they know that, number one, they've got to get this offense rolling. It has not rolled. It has sputtered. It has shown spots where they show that they can be successful. But overall, the series have just sputtered, and you can't have that going into what I think is going to be a very good sectional run for the Giants.
Yeah, we'll talk maybe a little bit more about that, but this sectional could be very interesting, this 4A sectional, where the Giants will be on the road at Delta. Mississinawa, very good Mississinawa team we saw earlier. They are on the road at Frankfort. If both of those teams win their first round sectional game, they'll face each other in round 2. And I don't know when the last time the Marion Giants and the Mississinawa Indians have faced off in a high school football game, but it's been a long time.
Probably back in the 60s, there was a home and home. Well, actually, an all home for Marion. Marion used to have every home game with Mississinawa and would pay them so much money to come over every year, but. I tell you what, things have changed in those 50 years, and so now Marion and Mississinawa, so to speak, are in the same sectional, and that means they expect them to play equally.
Well, Foster approaches it and drives Thomas back to the 5-yard line. Makes the cut at the 15, and he's down at the 19. So the Giants will have to set up their first drive of the second half inside the 20-yard line. And again, a little bit of a hesitation I felt that time from J.K. Thomas on that return. That, to me, is a little unusual from him.
It is, and I only saw 2 blocks out of 10 players for the Giants, just 2 blocks that were sustained, and so maybe that's the reason J.K. was a little hesitant.
Well, first possession of the second half for the Giants will start at the 19-yard line. We see kind of, again, this kind of double stack formation. That snap is dropped, picked up, and incomplete pass. I think Montreal Pogue was the intended receiver over there, but he had a couple Maverick defenders right there.
That was a double-covered, dangerous pass. Just really fortunate that it went out of bounds, because that looked to me like it was going to be picked.
That's actually a pretty long throw from the right hash mark to the opposite sideline.
It is, and with no gain in north-south territory.
So it's 2nd down and 10. Boy, another drop snap. Juice, he's going deep. He's got his man wide open. It's caught at the 30, the 25, the 20. Inside, no, is he? Boy, that ball was taken away. The ball was taken away from Isaiah Hamilton, who was fighting for the extra yard, and the defender just wrestled the ball away from Hamilton.
He just reached in and grabbed the ball away from him, and I guess they're going to allow that to happen.
I don't know that I've ever seen a play quite like that.
No.
Boy, because Hamilton looked like he was
going to go down.
Maybe going to go 80 yards instantly, but it looked like it's going down. Let's take a look at this. And
this ball goes a long ways in the air. Isaiah has to come back to catch it. And here we see 14, number for McCutcheon, just grabbed the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, Bryson McGee, and he never went down. His forward, if anything, I was wondering maybe if his forward progress would have been stopped enough where they would whistle it dead, but not even approaching that point yet. Here's the pitch to Bennett. Boy, an odd play. And here's a big gainer for Bennett out across the 30 and out of bounds, but now there's a couple flags on the play.
I think they're going to get 17 out here holding. Phoebus, who is really one of their good receivers, but he was holding. That was more of a
shocked over that last play.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And you know, our guys were right on it to see that Isaiah was trying to go down.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let him. They would not let him go down as Bryson McGee just pulled it out of his hands. And
it was a great job by Hamilton to get open. A great throw from Johnson. And for a moment, it looked like he was going to take it to the house. But, you know, give credit to the Mavericks defenders to not give up on that play. But still.
Great sprint by Isaiah Hamilton as he beats the defense. But then another turnover, and that's something we've talked about, just can't happen.
Here is the handoff early. Brendan Martin, boy, how many times could we have said his name tonight?
Montreal Pogue in there with him. And Andre Aguilar.
Yeah, Zach Randolph again down at the bottom of that pile. But, boy, you see, again, a kind of an iffy snap.
And I think they're going to maybe slow it down here a little bit. But right here is where McGee grabs him. And this is where you got to tuck it, put it away. You got to put it away. And he just grabs the ball out of his hands. If Isaiah's knee would have gone down, they would have blown it dead. But it didn't go down. It did not.
He tried to get that second arm around the football, but it was too late. Williams on the run, under pressure by Burke, unloads it down the side and back. Has his man complete at the 45-yard line. That was a great throw that time to Matthew Alvarez. That wasn't Alvarez, excuse me. That is Keldon Tyson. Oh, my goodness, what a throw.
That was a laser 30-yard throw. That was a laser. He bought time as they brought him from the left side to the right side. He was covered all the way, and then the Giants kind of gave up the cover, and he just right there on the laser put it in there for a first down.
What a big play there to pick up the first down, and after that long second down situation. So now the Mavericks really looking to put the Giants in a bad situation here. If they could score on this possession, they get it across midfield into Giant territory at the 48.
What looked like was going to be a kind of a turnaround for the Giants with that big pass play was a big turnover, and now they're coming the other way. The Giants defense, if they want to stay in this game, have got to get a stop.
A stop, they need a turnover, something positive to happen to maybe get a little momentum back in this. How quickly did they have momentum on that big catch, and all of a sudden it's snatched away?
This Peyton Williams for them is the real deal. He's not very big, but he is the real deal as a quarterback.
Here is the inside handoff. It's near the first down mark. Maybe about a yard or a half a yard short. I think it's going to be 3rd and 1. But the ball now is inside the Marion 45 down to the 44.
And I think you're in 4-down territory for them. So, you know, you basically have 2 downs here to get 1 yard, and unless they do something, I don't think it's going to be the Giants stop them. They're going to have to stop themselves.
Now under center, Williams is going to sneak it up the middle and have the first down.
And that was a big move of the Giant defensive line. They just moved the Giants straight back 3 yards before the linebackers could get in there.
Now, I don't like comparing players, but one of my all-time favorite quarterbacks, and I don't know if people talk about him much, was not a big guy, but a guy who to me could do so many things and was just flat out a winner, was Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie, I knew you were going to say him. What a winner he was out there at Boston.
Boston College, then of course in the CFL and the NFL. He just won football games and made things happen. Here is the stretch play here to tailback Bennett, but Martin chasing him down, making the tackle.
That was from the opposite side. He chased him down.
My goodness.
That's Brendan Martin having a great game for the Giants. He's got tackles for loss. He's had 2 where he's chased the guy down. When the ball goes away from him, this young man does not quit. He runs until he finds the ball and then goes after the takedown.
2nd and 5. I mentioned Flutie because Williams, he's not the biggest quarterback you see, but he runs hard when he runs the ball, and he's got an arm. We've seen him.
Yes.
He's seen him demonstrate that several times here tonight.
He has. He gets the best out of what he's got, and I know he's probably gone to some big-time person to work with his mechanics, because his mechanics are about perfect.
Again, Martin in on the tackle there, but Bennett gets it inside the 41, and now we're going to spot it at the 35-yard line. I said 41.
Tell you what's good too about Williams, he's not just a drop-back thrower. He's a scrambler too. Much like Juice Johnson. Juice Johnson is by far a better scrambler than he is a drop-back thrower, but this Williams kid is getting a lot of time to throw the ball too.
Man in motion. Williams hit as the throws, but he's got his guy wide open at the 10, at the 5, and it is a touchdown for McCutcheon. Was that Tyson once again?
That was, and that was Johnson on the cover. No, it wasn't Johnson. It was Keyshawn Taylor.
Well, the pressure came, but a perfect throw as the wide receiver broke free that time, and now they've broken this one wide open.
They have. That's 21-0. Looked like it was going to be a 14-7. And now it's 21-0, and the Giants are kind of reeling from that left-right hook that the offense and defense have given them from McCutcheon.
Again, and just a perfect throw that time from Williams to Tyson, the extra point here. And that one is up, and it is good. And now the score is 21-0.
Giants 0.
And there you see the pressure came, but I'm not sure what happened on the defense that side, but they got burnt badly.
I'm telling you, you never, as a free safety back there, you never let anybody deeper than you. And your free safety was 10 yards behind the play. Your left corner was 10 yards behind the play, and the guy was wide open. So that's communication or the fact that neither one of them got there.
I think it's Chris Spielman, who's now with Fox, but you'll hear him say, when he's talking about the safeties, deeper than the deepest.
That's right.
Always have to be deeper than their deepest receiver. It doesn't matter what's going on. And it surprises you when you see it, but it happens all the time, doesn't it?
Great shot to the guys down in the truck. As we saw him run right past the Marion's corner and their free safety and catch a wide open touchdown pass.
Now, Ron, obviously the Giants got a big hole here. They're down 21-0, but this isn't the last football game of the season, and so you gotta think that these coaches want to now just like, hey, let's start getting things moving in the right direction. Maybe something will happen here, but you want to go into sectionals on at least on some kind of positive note where like, hey, we played poorly, but we came back. Something of that nature.
And, you know, McCutcheon is a 5A team, and you know, the fact is they have more.
Well, Burke takes it at he's got some running room at the 30, 35-40, gets a block out the midfield, and he's run out of bounds inside McCutcheon territory at the 48-yard line. A 52-yard kickoff return by Braden Burke.
And you know what? His foot actually went inside in the goal line, which I think is supposed to be called dead, and they did not call it dead. He ran the ball back to the McCutcheon 48.
Yep.
And I don't know if the guy's got it down there, but I think you'll see that his foot was in the end zone.
Well, the best starting field position for the Giants here in this football game. Their second possession of the second half. Johnson has time, firing deep across the middle off the hands of Burke. Boy, he had some juice, so to speak, on that pass.
And that's got to be caught. Here is the return, and you will see him right there. See, his foot went in the end zone. That's supposed to be called dead, but right here, and you'll see Montreal Pogue get a little block there for him to get an extra 10 yards.
Well, after that incomplete pass, it's 2nd down and 10. Johnson under pressure. He's going to run, still on his feet at the 45. He got a couple yards, maybe let's call it 4 yards out of a play that looked like it was going to be a loss of 10.
And you wonder how, with the Giants' five-man line blocking 3 guys, how can he be under pressure that much?
You never feel, I'm just thinking about this right now, but never have felt that the Giants' offensive had gotten into their rhythm or gotten a tempo going.
A lot starts with that snap. So the snap is rolled back there a few times. There's a good one.
Here's the dump off here to J.K. Thomas. He has got the first down the sideline and steps out of bounds inside the 35. He'll be marked out of bounds, well, right at the 35, but it is indeed a first down.
Call that a swing pass back out as Juice Johnson connects with J.K. Thomas coming out of the backfield for a first down. Giants on the roll at the 35, and they have been on the roll earlier in this game and lost the ball.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. That's the 4th first down picked up by the Giants tonight, only 4.
Giants running double stack on each side.
Johnson rolling to his right. He's got some trouble now. He's going to throw on the run. And he was looking for, I think it was Keyshawn Taylor. It was number 1 Taylor. But that one, boy, that would have been a tough throw. Now there's a penalty. Oh, and a personal foul penalty is going to be called on McCutcheon.
That's, I think that was against the quarterback. And certainly that is a deal for the Giants to extend this drive. And I think that's a 15-yarder. That'll take it down to the 20-yard line.
Well, it was going to be about 3rd and 6 But now the Giants will have a first down, and we'll see where they
down around
spot
the 20.
the football.
15-yard penalty on the play.
And it's going to be 1st and 10 for Marion at the 20-yard line. By far their best. I'm sure this is the first time they've been in the red zone tonight.
Actually, I think Hamilton got in the red zone down at 15.
Yeah, but before the fumble.
Yeah.
All right, 1st and 10. Here's Johnson once again back in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff. Here's Taylor. Works his way forward. Picks up a couple yards. He stayed in bounds, and so the official says keep the clock running.
Now 2nd and 6 for the Giants.
Giants have got the ball moving. You're in 4-down territory now. You don't have to get that first down after 3rd down. You've got a 4th down. Just because I think you're probably not looking at a field goal now because you're 21 points down.
Clock ticking away. 6:13. Seen a lot more of Taylor here in this possession. He's a sophomore backup quarterback, but he's got some speed. Johnson scrambles back to the right, fires on the run now. Got his man. Is it complete?
I think it is.
It is caught.
J.K.
Thomas, and that's going to be very, very close to a first down. I think he's going to be about a yard short.
I think he got a bad spot on that. I think. They're running this double stack here, and they're trying to cover with a man up and then a man deep. Probably the man up is taking the inside route, and the man deep probably taking the outside route. But if we can keep that defensive line of just 3 guys out, maybe you have some time.
Johnson on the keeper, breaks a tackle. He's at the 5.
There he goes.
He dives and goes into the end zone for the touchdown. Slips a couple tackles, and Justin Johnson puts the Giants on the board.
All Juice Johnson that time as he great footwork. Shakes off the tackler at the line of scrimmage, takes the ball in for the touchdown.
Well, that drive of 48 yards was set up by the big kickoff return of Braden Burke. It gave the Giants some life. They capitalized on it. Now Stan Vermillion in to attempt the extra point. Here's the snap. Luton's with the hold. The kick is no good.
Kick is no good.
It was tipped.
Yeah, and there you see right there, I believe that was Eli Luton who said that ball was tipped. Let's take a look at the touchdown, though.
He gets hit right there. In fact, he could have been tackled behind the line. Nice block right there, and don't know who that was, one of his receivers.
Well, now we have a Maverick down on the field, but, I thought that move that Johnson made, that he was actually going to dive into the end zone, but from our vantage point, obviously he stayed on his feet. But that missed extra point, that's kind of the way it's been for the Giants tonight, where something great happens, but it's just not, it can't be
everything.
Yeah, it just, the big pass play, it's like, going to be near touchdown, all of a sudden it's a turnover.
Giants should have 14 points on the board.
Yeah.
Get 6.
Well, it's 21-6. Now there's still, 5 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Game's not over.
It isn't. But the Giants defense is going to have to come up big, and I feel they've got to get a turnover here, though. The Mavericks
or a quick stop.
Yeah.
One of the two.
But they've done such a good job, McCutcheon has, of possessing the football and just churning out yards.
They really have, and look for them to go to that rushing game that they have that's so strong. Giants defensive line are going to have to hunker down and stop that surge from the offensive line of McCutcheon.
Well, here is Lemons in to kick it off.
Kicking for the Giants.
McGee is back there again for McCutcheon. Here's a high kick, end over end, and is fumbled. The ball is loose.
Oh.
It is still loose, but it's going to go out of bounds. Oh, my goodness. Who was that hustling down there? That was D'Angelo Jones for the Giants, who almost came up with the loose ball.
Good kick. I mean, great kick to put it right in the middle where there wasn't anybody.
How close was that to the turnover
that's what
that
you
the
were
Giants would have were looking for?
Would have called you a great prognosticator then if that would have happened. having just talked about it, again, this team is a very good team led by quarterback Peyton Williams, and he has really impressed us. Maybe the best quarterback we've seen all year.
1st and 10 from the 21. Here is the handoff, little trap play there, and tripped up, but diving forward to the 24-yard line there was Bennett. That could have been maybe a few more yards if that someone doesn't get their hands on his ankles.
And here's the kick. And you see the ball is placed way in front of him, hits him in the hands.
It's Colby Phoebus
see how
there.
close, oh my.
It doesn't get a whole lot closer than that. Well,
No.
2nd and 7. Ball's at the 24-yard line. You see again the H-back in motion. The handoff to Bennett, the right side. He's hemmed in, and he's going to be drugged down by Andre Aguilar.
Andre Aguilar, that defensive end on the left side, comes across and gets the tackle. What I noticed that time in a pre-play look is now how the Giants are covering that particular formation, and the Giants are very susceptible again for that out and up pass to that they got burned on the last series.
Well, here's a big 3rd down play, 3rd and 8. The Giants would love to get a stop here and force a punt. See if they couldn't get the football back with some good field possession. Here is Williams on the roll to his left.
Nice.
It's tipped and knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Brandon Martin. Boy, what a game he's played.
What a big game Brendan Martin's had. Really, Dre Aguilar, we talked, and we just kind of picked him out. Who's going to have to play well to stop this team? And those two young men have had a pretty good game. It's just that Giants turnover have given them short fields to work on.
Well, 4th and 8. Let's take a look at this really quick. And
here he comes.
Just fighting off blockers.
This Brendan Martin's going to be a good one in a couple of years.
Here's a fair catch called for. I think it was J.K. Thomas called for the fair catch. And then Braden Burke made the grab.
Burke got the grab. Giants coming out, don't count them out yet because they've got a short field here and 58 yards to go. It's
a touchdown here changes the complexion of this game drastically.
I think at halftime the coaches had to talk about giving Juice Johnson a little more latitude to create, and because we've seen him do a lot of creating in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, you're down 21-0. You have to take a few more risks, but here is Johnson, has plenty of time, stepping up. He's going deep down the sideline. Isaiah Hamilton, he makes the grab inside the 10 and out of bounds at the, let's see, the 7-yard line. Hamilton with a spectacular catch.
Right over the top of the defender, and that defender, that was Isaiah Hamilton stealing the ball from Mason Douglas, a 6'1" defensive back, and the Giants are in red territory at the 8-yard line. Giants are on the move.
1st and goal for the Marion Giants at the 8-yard line, and boy, that was a big gain of about 55 yards that time. And boy, Juice Johnson, he gave that everything he had on that throw. Had to
give the line credit because they gave him time to throw.
Pogue in motion. Thomas up the middle. Did he get in the end zone? No, he's just short. They're going to mark him about the 6-inch line there. Boy, he looked like he got in the end zone, but the Giants will now have it 2nd
Here's
down
the
and
pass.
goal.
Watch Isaiah go up and over. That's perfect pass from. Two big passes to Isaiah. This one he keeps. The last one he lost, but this one puts the Giants down there, and the Giants are now on the 6-inch line, ready to make this a 1-score possession.
Now they put Darryl Brown in at the tailback position. Oh, and the Giants move. And there were multiple guys moving that time.
Mistakes. Well, you move the ball back. You're basically on the 5-yard line. You got 3 plays to punch it in. And again, you don't go for field goals here. You go for touchdowns because you're 15 points down.
Well, it's going to be second down. The ball is going to be marked just outside the 5-yard line. But how, sometimes this game is maddening because I thought J.K. Thomas may have gotten the end zone that last play. Well, instead he's just a little bit short. Penalty, now you're 5 yards away. Well, here is the man in motion, Brown. No, Johnson keeps it, and he fights his way forward and gets the ball down to the 3. I thought he handed it off twice, but he kept it.
That's a good read quarterback because he holds it in the belly, so to speak, of the would-be carrier.
Here's another look at that big pass play.
Great focus by Isaiah Hamilton, I'm sorry.
It was Jalen Lindsey on the camera work down there.
Yes, it is.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's got to be 4-down territory here, don't you think?
It absolutely does.
All right, here is Johnson back in the shotgun again. He has Brown in as his tailback. Boy, a long time here on this. Now Burke in motion. Is that Brown with the carry? It was. Moves the pile for about a yard. And he gets it down to the 2.
I don't think there's any looking over to see if you're going. You're going to go. And let's, get something where you've got a play action maybe going here.
Yep.
Where give Johnson the decision to pass or run.
You got to believe they're going to roll him out to either right or left and
let him decide.
Yep. All right. Big 4th down play here. This should be the last play of the 3rd quarter. 4 wideouts. Brown the tailback. Now man in motion. Here's a lob towards the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Burke.
Nice dive fake. They came up the outside. The corner came up. Burke wide open. All he has to do is just throw it up and let him catch it.
A 3-yard touchdown from Juice Johnson to Braden Burke. What a play call there. Great play call.
That's what we talked about. Give the play action look, which is what they did.
Yep.
Pull them up and then put them one-on-one out there. You knew they had to be one-on-one because they had to stop the run.
Well, now the Giants, of course, are going to go for 2.
This is a very important because if they don't get it, it's still a 2-score game.
We have 2 tight ends. And now, no, the pitch out here to Burke, and it's going to be a fumble now. That'll be a dead play at this point. Well, not sure exactly what that play was. It looked like some sort of option there that just the defense got in the backfield and blew that play up. But here's a look at the touchdown.
Little lob pass over the top of the defender.
Well, the touchdown, but the failed conversion makes it a 21-12 contest. But, Ron, with still 26 seconds, we have a whole quarter left to play. The Giants are back in this football game.
Giants are back in the ball game, and that's where you have to give the Giants credit. The creativity of I think of the coaches calling some of the things that they've called. Giants not making quite as many mistakes as they did in the first half, and then allowing Juice Johnson and the rest of the receiver corps to do their thing, as we say, and they scored 2 touchdowns in this 3rd quarter.
On that 2nd down play where they got the 5-yard penalty, obviously it was the mistake, but they didn't let it kill them that time, and they were able to still convert the score despite that mistake. And you can accept those ones, I guess, a little bit better.
I guess, and you know what? They got half of the mistake back.
Yeah.
And so even though they had a 3rd down, they still only needed 3 yards instead of 5.
All right.
Good.
Lemons
good
kicks it away. Nice kick taken at the 5-yard line. Coming across the field there, the return, and he's hit at the 15-yard line. I believe that was Andrew Miller. Or no, that was Jeffries on the return, number 34. And, boy, he ran a long ways, but it kind of went laterally there, didn't he?
They were running to his left. As you can see, he's trying to get over here. Here comes Jones. Here comes Jones coming up, and who was that underneath? I believe it was Anthony.
It was the Anthony Reynolds who made the.
Anthony Reynolds. He's a great, he's a good linebacker, but he's a great specialty team man too.
All right, Well, there's still 19 seconds to go here in the third quarter, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. See if the Giants
need another stop here is what they need.
Bennett off the option play, has some running room, out across the 20 and all the way out to the 27-yard line. So a big pickup there on 1st down for McCutcheon.
That may be the last play, but I tell you what, they had him pinned down back there in the 15. And, they get 10 yards coming out, get a 1st down. You got to have your defense. Your defense has to be ready, and the looks like the third quarter is now officially in the books.
Well, after 3 quarters of play, McCutcheon on top of the Marion Giants, 21-12. Don't go away. We'll be back with the 4th quarter of action. It's the Grant County High School football game of the week on WIWU.
Join me this season on Good Hoosier Cooking as we create some of Indiana's best recipes. We're covering traditions like the haystack dinner, sharing some of my favorite fall dishes, beef roast and beef stew, and making several recipes that my mother has made over the years, sloppy joes and potato salad. I'm sure you'll find something new to try. We hope that you join us here each week on WIWU TV 51.
Check out the latest trend that's sweeping the county and bringing the community together in ways no one ever expected.
It was just so much fun for our family. We just really wanted to do it, so we're doing it.
Find out all about Grant County Rocks and how you can join this county-wide scavenger hunt this week on Crossroads.
Grant County's hometown station. This is WIWU TV 51, Marion.
Back for the 4th quarter of action here. Let's check in on the sidelines with the good Dr. Greg Figbig.
As you can imagine, there's a little more life on the sideline now after a couple of Giants scores. The coaches are finally seeing what they thought all along, that they could move the ball on the Mavericks. They just got to avoid the mistakes and stay tight on defense. Back to you, Roger.
All right, it will be 1st and 10 for the Mavericks at the 27-yard line. A little discussion here during that timeout, Ron, with some situational kinds of things here. You know, some thought that Marion should go for the extra point there, not go for 2 quite yet. Extra point, you still have a 1-possession game.
That holds you to a 1-possession game. Yeah. If you don't get it, you're in a 2-possession game. The Giants did not get it. You would think the 1-point extra point would be a little more automatic. So it's just you don't question that. But if
there's some options there.
Yeah, there were options there to go with.
All right, here's the handoff to Bennett, and he's met there after a short gain by Montreal Pogue, who came up to make the stop, and so a gain of only 2 yards there for Bennett.
We haven't heard a whole lot from Montreal Pogue this game, but certainly he's one of the inside backers for the Giants. He stepped up right there and got a nice stick to hold him to about 1.5 yard gain.
2nd down and 8. McCutcheon in no hurry here with the 9-point lead.
And you go back and you think about the fact that the Giants had another one that they could have gotten.
There's a pass almost picked off, but I think it's going to be caught near that 1st down mark. It's going to be just about a 1/2 yard short. But, boy, coming up and almost making the interception was Aries Washington.
Washington has had a lot of good plays. He's gotten burned a couple times. But watch, it's almost simultaneous catch. It looks like a simultaneous catch.
Boy, and you look at the ball, Washington's got more of that football than the receiver did.
He comes out of there with the football, but the official blew the whistle. That calls it dead.
Well, it's 3rd and 1 officially, but it's a very short 1 yard. In the shotgun, handoff to Bennett, who gets the 1st down as he gets it out to the 40-yard line.
Dre Aguilar on the tackle, but they get the first. See, that is a simultaneous catch. That's just, I don't know. you fight for it until you come out with it, I guess. I could have given the Giants the ball as well as McCutcheon.
Yeah, angst it for McCutcheon in Washington.
That was a toss-up ball that the Giants did not get the break on.
Well, they have the first down. The Mavericks do, so fresh set of downs with nearly or almost exactly 10 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. They keep it on the ground. Bennett breaks it open, and he is loose at the 50, at the 45. And, boy, a touchdown saving tackle there by Burke.
And I tell you, if the guy has his shirt a little less tucked in, Burke does not get that because he grabbed hold of a lot of jersey, enough to hold him until he got him down.
You know, they just keep feeding the ball to Bennett, and he's not broken big gainers here and there, but you keep giving him the football, and sooner or later he's going to break one.
Here is that straight up the gut, and Burke makes a nice job, does a nice job of stopping the touchdown.
Well, now it's 1st and 10 inside Giant territory. Again.
Here he is.
Oh, no, that's Williams with the keeper. Left side, gets a block, and then he goes down inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. But a very nice fake that time by Peyton Williams, but it's set up by the success they had running the football to Bennett.
And I tell you what kept that going was the fact that he kept over the ball even though he didn't have the ball. And that held the linebackers and held the secondary to see if he had it. And that's Bennett, number 21.
Well, another first down for McCutcheon, and now they have the ball inside the Giants' 30-yard line. And the Giants cannot give up a touchdown here.
They're just shoving it down the Giants right now.
Here is Williams. And off to Bennett. Inside the 25, down to the 24. Boy, he's getting up a little bit slowly there. He took a pretty good shot at the end of that run.
Yeah, I think that was Burke on the hit. Stepped up and just stoved him. He just hit him and he dropped.
See the official talking to him there, and they do a better job these days making sure that
the question
players are okay.
Is Braden okay?
Take a look
Let's
at this.
watch this because they might have gone helmet to helmet on that.
He was kind of in an awkward position as he was
That's
stumbling forward there. Well, it's 2nd down and 3. Fake to the man in motion. Here's Bennett with another carry. Breaks free inside the 15. First down to the 12-yard line.
They're just running Bennett from tackle to tackle. Here is it. Look how he gets low. Gets those shoulders. Oh, this is helmet. Yeah, it is helmet to helmet.
Yeah.
That was a helmet-to-helmet hit. It's no wonder both of them came out of there a little woozy.
Well, another first down on that pickup from Bennett. Clock continues to run as we approach the 8-minute mark. Again, Bennett with the keeper, and now they're just starting to pick up.
We got fisticuffs going down. Guys are going to be kicked out on this.
I'm not sure what's going on here, but
you got a helmet off. That'll
couple helmets off. Zach Randolph, and I'm not sure who else for McCutcheon, number 65 that time, Henry Hoffman. Now, if you get tossed out of a high school football game,
you don't play the next game.
And so these guys could be gone for sectionals.
Yep.
And now it's going to be a few minutes here for the officials to sort this one out.
I think the fact that both those guys lost their helmets, you got to kick them both out because they both pulled a helmet off. We see if the guys down there, see if Nathan comes up with a play on this because
well, yep, a little bit of activity after the whistle, and you know, that had to be brewing for more than just that one play.
It did, and the guys are, I don't know if they saw it, but the guys down on the truck sure got a good shot for us of it.
Yeah.
And it looked to me like both of them had helmets pulled off.
Well,
and that's
Randolph's came off first and Hoffman second, but We're waiting here for, take another look here.
Right there, it's a pull down, 65. And then, yeah, I think they're both going to get kicked. I think they're both out.
Well, the good news is that could have got in a little bit more ugly or out of control. And you saw guys step in and say, you know, cooler heads prevail, and that's the good news.
It looked to me like number 65 pulled off Hoffman, pulled Zach Randolph's helmet off, and then they retaliated by pulling his helmet off.
Well, we still haven't gotten any word here. Now, the ball is resting inside the 5-yard line at the 3, where it's going to be a second down. Now, the Mavericks could, in fact, get a first down, but we still haven't seen what is going on with the penalties here. So I think we have one personal foul called on Marion.
You know what?
And we still see 65 in the game for McCutcheon. Hoffman is still in the game, but
that's not right. If he doesn't kick both of them out, that's not right. Because
I got to believe it. It's either both or none in that situation.
Well, I mean, we saw it. We've seen it 3 times now. We've seen it. Hoffman pulls off Zach Randolph's helmet, and then the retaliation goes from there.
Let's take a look.
Here we go.
Well, something was going on, and Randolph came back.
And he's being held.
And with this shot right here, I think there you see, well, Hoffman's helmet first, and then the hands to the face
and
there.
And then he pulls Zach Randolph's helmet off. That's a flagrant foul right there.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's pretty obvious it's both players.
It's both players. It is both players.
You know, it's just now, again, I go back to, I think those guys have been going at it for, just over 3 quarters now, and that happens sometimes in football. But clearly it was both guys going at each other.
And I'm looking down there at the head referee, and he hasn't made a signal yet.
No, I think it's just going to be the personal foul against the Giants the way Coach Chambers is looking there.
That's not right. They need to look at this to see that it was a retaliation of a helmet being pulled off by the face mask. That's not right. That is not right.
Well,
good job by our guys down in the truck, though, of bringing that back and letting us see that it was probably both guys.
Well, it's going to be a 1st and goal now, half the distance to the goal penalty. Takes it from the 3 down to the 1.5. Here is the handoff, and just short of the goal line on that carry.
And it could be. I didn't see him thumb anybody out.
No, I don't.
They did not call a penalty on that extracurricular.
Well, they called a personal foul because they called a penalty on the Giants because that was 2nd down at the 3, and then it went from that to a 1st and goal at the 1.5.
Yep. Half the distance. Yep.
My question is, was Zach Randolph ejected from the game or not? I don't see him on the field, but
there's the touchdown
on the 2nd down play, a touchdown for the Mavericks, and now with the score being 27-12 with 7 minutes to go, McCutcheon has responded and taken back control of this football game.
Yeah,
and that was an impressive drive.
It was because they ran it.
Yeah.
They ran the ball right down the Giants' defense, and Giants' defense have been strong all year, but we saw the frustration come out, I guess, of when it looked to me like on the play Zach Randolph was held. I don't think there's any doubt about that, and probably Hoffman's the guy that held him, and he came back and knocked the helmet off, and then he got his helmet pulled off, and so it's probably both guys, and they probably missed a penalty.
Well, Bennett with a tough run there as he went through Pogue on that 2-point conversion and makes it A 29-12 game, and here's a look at the touchdown.
Yeah, right up the gut.
Yep. Good push there by the offensive line that time from the Mavericks.
It looks like the Giants' defense getting a little bit tired, especially why did they go for 2? Well, now it takes 2 touchdowns and a field goal to tie.
This Giants defense has, they've been on the field a lot. And I still have not received confirmation whether or not Zach Randolph has been removed from this game. But if he has been, he will be out
for next game.
For the first game of sectionals. And Delta has a really good running attack there, and you do not want a good defensive lineman out against a team like that.
That'll be an interesting game over there. And right now it looks like the Giants may go down on senior night. How are the Giants going to respond in this last 7 minutes? Are they going to go out strong, or are they going to just let McCutcheon have their way for the next 7 minutes?
Foster's kickoff by Burke there. You saw his foot was in the end zone, so it was whistled dead, and that should have been the case on that return earlier. We're not sure why it wasn't, but so the Giants will set up shop 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
I coached for 46 years here at Marion, but I also was an official for 25 years as a basketball and softball and baseball official. But I will tell you this. Officials make mistakes too. They don't get everything.
Absolutely. I always tell people who want to complain about officials, well, you're welcome to go out there and do it yourself, because it's not, they don't have replay. They didn't get to see the replay 3 times of certain plays, and it's a thankless job. I wouldn't do it. It is. Johnson, flag on the play. He's going deep.
Had a man.
Yeah, Burke, intended receiver, but there's a flag on the play.
And we're going to have another holding, I believe.
And it is indeed a hold against the Giants, so it'll set them back, inside the 15.
I had an official tell me one time when I was a head coach, because I went over to him and I was very polite to him, but I said, you really missed that call. And he said, I'll tell you how important that was. He said, there's 1 billion people over in Asia that could care less. And he was right. And sometimes we think what we're doing is so important, but in the real scheme of things, it is a game.
Well, that penalty takes it back to the 6-yard line, so the Giants digging a little bit of a hole here as we're under 7 minutes to go in the ball game. Johnson takes the snap, under pressure, gets out of there. Gets his way across the 10, still on his feet, but drug out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So that looked like it was maybe going to be a safety, but Johnson gets it out to the 14.
And he had to do something there to avoid the safety. Isaiah Hamilton giving him a go route on his, trying to let him know before the ball snapped that I'm going to take off.
Keyshawn Taylor checking in for the Giants here, brings in the play.
Watch the receivers to how they use their hands to give the quarterback a tip as to what kind of routes they're going to run.
They split wide to the left, 3 receivers. Johnson rolling that way, fires, has his man out at the 25-yard line. Keyshawn Taylor with the reception.
And you say, well, Coach, don't they have a route they've got to run? Yes, they do, but if they think they can get a jump on a defensive secondary, all they've got to do is let the quarterback know that they're changing their route, that they think that they can get that touchdown pass. And again, Isaiah on the other side did have his man beat.
In the last 5 games, the Mavericks have won 5 consecutive. They've averaged 29 points a contest. They're at 29. They've only given up 6 points a game in those ball games. The Giants at 12 right now would love to get another score on the board here before this one goes in the books. But again, it's been just one of these nights for the Giants where it just never got into a rhythm. A lot of frustration, a big play that next thing you know is a turnover or a defense gets a stop, forces a punt, but the punt hits one of their players, and it's, gives McCutcheon great field position. Just crazy things like that have happened all night long.
Well, you're at 25-yard line, and they look like they were going to go for it on 4th down. I believe they will go for it on 4th down, but if you don't get that 5 yards, you turn the ball over to McCutcheon at your own 25, and you say, why would you do that? Well, because you're still trying to win the ball game. With 5 minutes and 47 seconds left, we're still trying to win this ball game.
Well, it's 3rd down on the scoreboard, which we pick up and you see in our graphic, but as you look down at the field on the down and distance, or the down marker, it is indeed 4th down. Clock is stopped with 5:47 to go as the Giants have used the timeout, but we've seen Justin Johnson do some pretty good things on his feet,
I would just let him roll with it.
Yeah.
Run with it and decide whether he's going to throw it, bring guys across, and because I think right now your best athlete is the guy that's going to receive the ball on the hike.
We're going to check in really quick with Greg Feebig.
4th and 5 for the Giants.
Just want to confirm that Zach Randolph was in fact ejected for unsportsmanlike conduct. He was escorted off the field. The coaches actually pulled him off first, but he's sitting on the sidelines, and the coach has just been instructed not to talk to him. Back to you, Roger.
Oh, what a huge 4th down play there, as Justin Johnson looked like he was going to be taken down for a big loss, but somehow broke free and then found his man Isaiah Hamilton out across midfield. Not only picks up a 1st down, but he gets it into McCutcheon territory. What a play.
It was, and he should have been tackled for loss, and he kept his feet scrambling. Isaiah, former quarterback, starting quarterback for the Giants, came back to the ball as Juice Johnson gets him the ball and a 1st down.
Well, it's 1st and 10 for the Giants. Johnson dumps it off here in the flat to J.K. Thomas, but he just dropped it. He started to run, I think, Ron, before he made the catch, and just a little too eeager that time.
That ball had definite touch on it. It was right there in his well house, and he just dropped it. So a big play, and we've seen Juice come up with big plays. Here he is. Watch the scramble. He should be tackled right here, and he scrambles, throws it on the run to Isaiah as Isaiah stops. And Isaiah again, he's just a junior, but he's a well-seasoned junior, smart. Offensive man, a good receiver because he knows the routes and knows how to call off a route too.
Here's the fake pitch. Now on the run. Johnson inside the 40, out of bounds at the 35-yard line, stops the clock as it runs out of bounds at the 34. And he picks up the 1st down for the Giants and keeps this drive alive. Sets it up 1st and 10 at the 34.
Looks like a quarterback draw. Like he went back and then waited for the hole to open, found a hole, and takes off, and a 15-yard pickup. And the Giants are on the move again.
5:25 to go here. Johnson, straight drop. He's going deep, but the receiver cut the route off that time. Taylor was on that side. So the nearest person to that pass was the safety or the defensive back, Caden Rice.
And the Giants got beat by 2 of the 3 down linemen that time to put pressure on the ball. That can't happen. You got 5 guys on 3. 2 of those 3 can't beat you.
All right, 2nd down and 10. Giants keep it in the hands of Johnson. He rolls to his left, launches it out here for Taylor, intended receiver, but it goes out of bounds. That's not an easy throw to make right there.
Right-handed player going off to his left. I've said it all season, and probably in all 6 games. It's hard for a right-handed quarterback to throw going to his left. Not impossible, but harder than going to his right.
All right, so now for the Giants, it'll be 3rd and 10. Obviously, 4 down territory here, so they don't have to get it all back on this one play.
You'd like to see Juice scramble a little bit. He goes better to his right when he scrambles. He's got trips down here to the left, though.
Johnson looks left, runs it up the middle. He's got some room. Makes the move at the 20. He's at the 15, at the 10, the 5, and goes into the corner of the end zone. It's a touchdown. Oh, what a run.
Let Juice create is what I was saying. It looks like a pass, but I believe it's a quarterback draw. He looks, if there's nobody there, he looks for an opening, and the Giants blocking 5-on-3 are going to get you an opening if you get that. And he saw the opening, and once he got through, it was just Juice against the world, and he beat the world.
Well, a 34-yard touchdown run from Justin Johnson makes it 29-18, and now the Giants are going to kick the extra point. 2 point really doesn't help them here in this situation.
It doesn't.
So Sam Vermillion in to attempt the extra point. Luton somehow pulled down that high snap. There's a flag on the play, though. Is it an offsides?
I believe it's offsides. McCutcheon.
And so that extra point, no, they blew the whistle and blew the play dead. So I thought maybe that would be assessed on the kickoff, but instead the Giants are going to have to kick it again. So that was really a break for McCutcheon.
It was. And Eli, I was going to say something about Eli Luton's. His grandfather is the one who this field is named after.
Yes.
And Eli has been the holder for Sam for 4 years. All 4 years they've been together. Eli and so they're going to have to do it again.
Now, the coaches are going to decline this penalty because it really doesn't help them. It just maybe changes things up a little bit. So keep it the way you're used to doing it, and they'll re-kick it here. The kick is down.
Yep.
Excuse me, the snap is, and the hold is down, the kick is up and good. And so the Giants make it a 29-19. Let's take a look at this touchdown. What a run.
Watch him run through the hole. Makes a good move there on their number 1 tackler, and then just outruns the field to get there.
34 yards from Justin Johnson. That drive run started back at the 20, but after a penalty, they had it at the 6-yard line. So in essence, they drove that ball 34 yards down the field.
They did, and give the Giants credit. They didn't quit on this. And I tell you what, you get Juice Johnson, let him create. This young man is pretty impressive.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what his future holds in terms of playing college football or not, but whether it's a quarterback or not, but he can play somewhere on that field.
He can, and he's got great quickness.
Yeah.
He's smart. He's football smart.
Yeah.
And he reads defense as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. He's got a nice arm. I don't know if he is a quarterback in college, but he is an athlete in college, and that's what colleges are looking for.
Well, Ron, would you think about an onside kick here? I would, yes. We'll see what the Giants do. Here is Lemons, and he kicks it high, but what a nice high bounce, and just good hands there by, Bennett, the good hands man right there.
They had their hands team up, and you know what? They anticipated. They had their hands team up. It was a little softer than I think Lemons wanted it, and now they have great field position. But you know what? Giants need to come up with one here. Giants come up with a stop here. They're still in this game. If they let them run off 2 or 3 minutes here, it's Katie bar the door. The game's basically over.
Well, if nothing else, it's been a very interesting football game. There's been some big plays, some weird plays, but I certainly don't think the Giants have given up on this game. Here's Bennett, big gainer. He's inside the 30, inside the 20, and finally brought down at the 10-yard line. But Bennett, boy, he's been a difference maker here in his fourth quarter.
He has. He only came in with 269 yards, I believe. No, he had 469 yards.
Yes.
This young man has run hard. He's run through from tackle to tackle against the Giants, whose line and linebacker is very good. This is a counter play. They fake it going to the left and come back to the right. Good effort by the Giants on the touchdown stop, and that was Washington coming over and making that big stop.
Washington and Burke, but that was a pretty big hole to run through that time. Here is the handoff, the fullback that time, carrying for McCutcheon. It's Mike Fisher. And that offensive line, I think, in the fourth quarter for McCutcheon has really kind of taken over in the trenches.
They have, and you know, the Giants lost Zach Randolph, and I'm just going to say, again, I thought that was either a play you don't kick anybody out or you kick both guys out, and the Giants got the worst end of the deal there. Needless to say, you continue on. And the guys that fill in for Zach have got to be there to help stop the ball too. But right now, they're running tackle to tackle on the Giants.
2nd down and 5.
There's that counter
Bennett,
again.
Yep, gets the carry. Inside to 5, close to that first down marker as he gets it down to about the 2-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. 3rd and 1 from the 4, so they could, in essence, get a first down before they got the touchdown.
Looks like it. Again, that's a well-conceived play. They run the jet sweep off of that, then bring back the back on a counter move.
Hey, there's no doubt about it. You look at this McCutcheon team, and they do a lot of good things. A good football team right here.
They are a good football team.
Boy, I think he fumbled the football there. Somehow getting it back was Williams, but well, down at the bottom of the pile there was for the Giants. Let's see, who was that? But I think the ball had been blown dead there. That was that Javon Pettiford down there, I believe. But it'll be 4th down now. 4th and we'll call it 2. 3 yards for a touchdown.
Have the Giants, you know, let's see them right here. You'll see the surge. See, actually, Giants meet surge for surge here. That's a good effort by the defensive line. And then it looks like he's pushed back. Brandon Martin on top.
Boy, Brendan Martin has played one heck of a football game, though.
He has. He's the defensive player of the game for the Giants.
You know, I go back to a play, I think it was in the 3rd quarter, where it looked like Bennett had a lot of running room, and Martin came from the entire other side of the formation and field and just chased him down. I mean, for a kid who's that young, plays a defensive end, if he can get bigger and maintain that kind of speed, he'd be a terror.
He's pretty special right now, and you're right. He's a sophomore. He's still got 2 more years of eligibility, and certainly he will take him.
In the 3rd quarter, Mississippi Indians 69.
You can update on some other scores. 69-13, Mississippi over Alexander. Alexander was not a bad football team.
No.
And
Eastbrook,
Eastbrook,
they will finish 2nd in that conference, Eastbrook.
Who 63-0 over Blackford.
There's the counter play.
Boy, that
good stop there by Washington.
Well, it's 4th down and 2. Still, you know, obviously Giants down by 10 here. Their odds of winning are long indeed, but you'd love to point to a stop here for your defense. Here is the handoff, and he's not going to get it. He's not going to get the first down, and the Giants will take over.
Good stop. That just give that offensive linebackers the tackle on that as the Giants make a good hold. Giants 2 minutes and 12 seconds down 10.
I don't like to see Braden Burke come off the field limping, however.
Yeah, he is definitely favoring that right leg.
You know, he plays both ways, played a hard football game, but he's one of their prime targets receiving as well. He
is, and you remember he went a head-to-head on a tackle where he got dinged up pretty good too.
Well, the Giants are 97 yards away from the end zone, and they'd have to get a score real quick, an onside kick, and then see if they couldn't get another big play. So
not impossible.
Under pressure, Johnson got his man across the middle, of the field, out across the 20. That on the catch was Anthony Reynolds.
Anthony Reynolds, again, plays most of the time as the linebacker, but certainly a great receiver in his own right.
All right, here we go. Now a throw out here to J.K. Thomas. On the sideline, spins across the 30 and out of bounds, stopping the clock at the 31-yard line, a pickup of 7.
Getting the ball, the play in here quick. The clock is stopped, minute and 58 to go. Giants on the move at the 31-yard line.
Second down, we'll call it 3, but it really looks closer to about 4 yards needed for that first down. Clock is stopped as Thomas went out of bounds. Stepping up in the pocket, juice across the middle. Oh, and that was a miss.
Yeah,
There's the flag.
There it comes.
Well, Anthony Reynolds was breaking free across the middle of the field that time, and Andrew Miller just gave him a little, forearm shiver in the back.
Anthony Reynolds does a nice job of acting too, because he goes up like he can catch it. There's no way he can catch that ball. That ball is an uncatchable ball, but it will be a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Here's on the slant, coming across. Yeah, see, there's no way he could have caught that.
Really not a good defensive play that time. Now, Anthony Reynolds, if he watches this on replay, say, Coach, I had that ball.
Yep.
I was going to go grab it with one hand.
And he could say, well, I was held too. And I would have been at 5 yards farther if he hadn't held me. So, you can say a lot of things right now, but the Giants did get a break there.
Yeah.
They're at the 46-yard line, still on the move, minute and 52 to go, and they're in their 2-minute offense right now.
We said at the beginning of the contest that the Giants weren't going to give up tonight.
Nope.
They haven't given up all season long, and they haven't tonight. Well, here is Johnson. Pump fake. He's going to have to run now. Gets a block and goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
A near block in the back, but a good back off by Keyshawn Taylor. They give him the deal. I think they're going to spot it just short, though.
Yeah, it's going to be 2nd and 1. The clock stops with the minute 45.
Boy, I tell you what, Juice Johnson with the ball and needing yards, you just let him create.
And we talked, though, about defensive for the Giants. If you're McCutcheon defensively, I don't care if he's scrambling all over the place. If you're the safeties, you do not let the receiver get behind you. Rolling to his right, under pressure, flips it out here to J.K. Thomas, slips a tackle and gets a first down. He had to fight for that first down.
What an athletic move by Juice Johnson. Shot-putted that ball as he was taken down and gets it to J.K. Thomas for a first down. What a great athletic play.
Well, the clock stopped momentarily. They set the down marker. Now we're back to live action. Johnson has time. He's just going to go deep. He has Pogue as intended receiver.
Yes.
Oh, it's knocked away. There's a lot of bumping going on down there. Montrell Pogue, the intended receiver, almost came away with a great catch.
It's kind of thrown up as a jump ball, but both guys going after it. It looked like Montrell is hurt. He is limping. He's not going to quit, though.
Again, how do you
Here is the play.
How do you let a receiver get behind you, though?
He lets it hang. Oh, my. That's in his hands. That is in his hands.
Well, it's 2nd down and 10, a minute 21 remaining here. Rolling to his left. Johnson stops. Now he's going to stop.
This could be big. This could be big right here.
He's going to stop. He's going to uncork it towards the end zone. Looking for Hamilton. It's knocked around, incomplete. You're lucky on a play like that that you don't get a man downfield or a holding call or something like that with all that misdirection.
Not so sure that if he hadn't kept running,
he might
have scored. Yeah, he would have definitely got a first down. But he beat the coverage, the blockers. The would-be tacklers were just 3 guys and 1 linebacker, and he beat them. He had them off on his left as he went back to his right.
Well, it's 3rd and 10 now.
It's exciting. You got to say that. Giants have made it exciting.
All right, here we go. 5 receivers out. Under pressure, across the middle. Oh! Off the hands of Taylor. And, boy, that would have been a tough grab. I'd like to see the replay. I'm not sure if he had a chance at that one or not.
You got to down to your last play, unless you get a first down.
Yep.
Last play, and you let him go back just maybe a few yards farther and let him create. Here's that play. He's got the man coming across the middle a little bit high. It sailed on him.
All right.
This is your game right here.
4th and 10. Again, 2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Pressure. Johnson's going to roll. Stops under pressure. Gets away. Still on his feet. He's in trouble. Dumps it across the middle of the field. Incomplete. And that'll be the ball game. He did everything he could that time, but could not find a receiver, and McCutcheon will take over on downs.
Tell you what the difference was there. They brought 5 guys instead of 4.
Yep.
And they contained him. And that was smart on their part. They covered 5 guys with 7 guys, which meant man under 2 deep, and Johnson is down.
He kind of got sandwiched in between a couple defenders there.
You hope he's just tired, or you hope that he just needs a little bit of time, because he's got a big game next week.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if we mentioned this or not. We mentioned the Mississinawa score. They were big over Alexandria, but Eastbrook, 63-0 over Blackford, and of course.
Oh wow, that's a team that had 3 or 4 wins.
Yeah. Coach Randy Seahigh over there really turned that thing around, but not sure what they're looking at here on Johnson, but looks like he's going to pop up. But I think I think he's wiped out.
They brought him a Gatorade.
Yeah. Get him a jar of pickles. When the pickle juice, the old remedy to cramps and whatnot. But
the brine in the pickle had a lot of salt in it.
Yeah.
That was before. Here is the play. Watch him scramble.
Making the defenders trace
right here.
Down.
Let's see. He gets.
Drew Davis
he's up in the air. Oh, he got 3 guys hit him.
Yeah. Then coming from behind, it's kind of that blindside hit that hurt as much as anything.
Good play or good show by Nathan down in the truck and the guys down there. You saw on the slow-mo, you saw him get hit by 3 guys.
Now, Ron, you mentioned the guys in the truck. This may be our last broadcast. This is our last scheduled broadcast of the season of high school football. And all we have to do, you and I, is show up about 6 o'clock and talk a little bit. But Nathan Johnson and Paul Crisp and Randall King and the rest of the crew and a bunch of students are out here all day long getting set up to bring folks these broadcasts, and a lot of work. We have the easy part.
Yeah, and we meet with those guys on Thursdays, too, for our production meeting. Have been very good, very creative, very informative, and that's why when we come out here, we kind of know what we're looking for, and they know what we're looking for, and they have it. And that's what I'm saying. The job that our camera people do is just pretty special.
Well, the Giants are going to use a timeout. Now, this may be, we're winding down high school football here, but we've got all sorts of Indiana Wesleyan University sports coming up this year. Excited about men's basketball, women's basketball. All home games will be here on WIWU TV. But we've got, like we said earlier, we have women's volleyball coming up this week. May have some more soccer down the road, but
and certainly the new Indiana Wesleyan football, who have done some scrimmages, and they beat a very good Midwest prep team Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it's just says that there's some pretty special things going down there on 42nd Street.
September the 1st, 2018, Wildcat Field, Taylor University and Indiana Wesleyan. The Trojans come to town, and Wildcat football will kick off.
And that'll be a Grant County day of history.
Here is Bennett on the carry, picks up about 5 yards, and that'll be the last play of the game, unless the Giants would call timeout, but the Mavericks do not need to take another snap. 19-29 will be our final score. 29-19, the Mavericks, in a game where the Giants did not give up, but boy, would like to have some of those plays back and give themselves a shot at this game.
Yeah, mistakes in that first half that gave them short fields, and they got 2 touchdowns, and then a turnover on a long pass in the third quarter. That kind of made things tough, but the Giants never quit. They're finishing 6-3 for the regular season, twice as many wins as losses, but more importantly, I guess, they're going to finish with 3 losses in the conference.
And McCutcheon, boy, give them credit. They're way too good of a football team to not be at your best tonight if you're the Giants, because that McCutcheon team's a pretty good football team out there. 6 consecutive victories for them to end the regular season.
That Peyton Williams is a pretty special quarterback, but Marion's got a pretty special quarterback in the very creative Juice Johnson.
Hey, let's check in downstairs once again with Greg Feebig.
Coach, tough loss on the last game of the season. Came out a lot stronger in the second half. Tell me what you take away from the game tonight.
We got fight in us. We just got to stop making mistakes early. And if we can do that, we can win some ball games.
Okay. You've got sectionals coming up next week. Anything you take away from this game to prepare for next week?
Just keep working hard. I mean, we got a good team. We just got to keep working, find a way to win the big ones.
Okay. What about your senior leadership?
Yeah, they're doing an amazing job, man. We just really appreciate them. We just got to, it's a new season starting next week, so we just got to, that's the way we got to treat them.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
All right. Dr. Feebig talking about sectional play. The Giants will head over to just outside of Muncie to take on the Delta Eagles, a team that should be a great matchup. We don't know a lot about Delta, but we know they can run the football very well, and the Giants' defense will be tested once again. But, you know, I really did not think their defense played poorly tonight against a really, really good offensive team. It's just a couple big plays here and there and some different breaks, but they were on the field a lot tonight.
Yeah, Austin Bennett, very special on his running for them. Peyton Williams really just controlled the offense and really had this offense moving very well for him.
Well, Greg Feebig is back down the field with some players, so we're going to go back to Greg.
Got Sam down here, who is a student athlete, 2 sports. Tell me a little bit about that blocked kick.
Well, our line just needs to do a little bit better job of blocking. We'll work on it in practice. It's just tough. They've got really big guys, and we don't always have our biggest guys out there. They just ran through the middle. That doesn't happen very often. We'll get it fixed.
What's it like being a senior? This your last regular season home game, and you got sectionals coming up tomorrow in soccer.
Regionals, but it's bittersweet because, I mean, I've just loved being part of this team, but at the same time, it's kind of exciting going into the tournament for football. We're really looking forward to doing something big. And then with soccer, we've got regionals tomorrow. We play Concordia, who we've played earlier in this season. We tied them. We're really looking to do something special.
Thank you very much. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Roger.
Well, there you see is Dick Luton Stadium kind of empties here. The final score, once again, 29-19. And Ron, thanks once again to you for joining us this year. And, of course, a special thanks to our entire WIWU crew and everyone who's watched us this year. It's been a lot of fun.
My pleasure, and certainly Sam is my grandson, and a nice job that he's done.
All right. Well, once again, your final score, 29-19, McCutcheon over Marion. We'll see you next year for Wildcat football on WIWU TV.